Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Report on RotoViz. I'm your host, Blair Andrews. I'm joined by Hasan Rahim and Kevin Safrenic. How's it going, guys?
It's it, man. The last Sunday without football. I don't know. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, nice to have a really long vacation.
I don't know. Yeah, doing drafts all off season doesn't really feel like a vacation. I'm like kind of happy that all the best ball stuff's winding down right now because I think that's a little more of a grind. It's pretty much every day, all day doing slow drafts from, I don't know when they open in February till about now. So it's nice to kind of be like having that kind of wind down and just get ready for the season. So ready to do it.
Yeah. And do it we are. Second managed league. We're back. Question is, are we going to get any better running backs?
That is the question. Last week, let me see if I can share the draft board from our draft last week, just so we can give the viewers some context. It was a team that I think we all felt pretty good about, but as you know, there's always a concern about how weak our running backs are, right? So here we are from the 9 slot, a Jamar Chase team, which looked better back then. Now the reporting on Chase has kind of gone a little bit more negative, although I think there was always this risk that he wasn't that he was going to do this kind of contract stuff. So maybe we should have seen that going in. On the other hand, I think the news is getting better on Puka, so maybe it's a wash.
Yeah, I mean, look, like the last draft was more of like a story. You really had to be there because there were a bunch of characters in this draft. Like realistically, I don't know how to like explain this without the people actually experiencing the actual draft as it unfolded. And my only regret is that people were like don't have access, and we no longer have access to the chat, unfortunately. There's the big thing about these FFPC drafts, especially at like the mid stakes level, is there's a lot of characters in here. And I would heavily encourage everyone to go back and listen to it, if only for the for all the bants that went down in the draft chat. Anyway, so enough of me vamping there. I do think from like our perspective, I still think Jamar Chase is going to play. This has probably been what, like this. Blair, we've been doing this for how long now? And I'm getting old. Probably the 7th season now together. I think we're coming up on like almost Anyway, so but this goes back to like back when we were like doing the old RV32 series from a few years ago, where you'd always be just amazed at the Bengals and just sort of how inefficient they are in terms of just salary cap and just kind of how cheap they are as an organization. I remember we had Josh ADHD on a few seasons ago, where we all clowned the Bengals for like a good 50 minutes, just sort of underscoring how cheap they are. But I do think Jamar Chase is going to play. The news in Puka, as you mentioned, is a little bit more bullish. I'm really liking that George Pickens pick a lot more now, like just in like even with the the benefit of hindsight and realizing that we're in a tough running back position. I think I think that's realistically the one that really threw me, and this is the discussion that I want to have with you guys, is Trey McBride, because while we were planning on this chat or like this draft, you guys are like interested in McBride, and we have the 11th slot, so like defend this McBride take.
Well, I think I don't think
defend this McBride in the first bullshit, I should say. But
well, I took him in the second at the 10th spot a couple of days ago. So I don't know about getting him in the first. I think there's probably, if LaPorta is there, we take LaPorta. I don't think he's going to be going at the 4 spot again, but I don't think that Harrison Jr. is just going to come in and just completely take over that whole entire all the target share in that offense. I think it'll be pretty evenly distributed between the two, and then pretty much if you're in the tight end premium, I mean I think he's a good pick at the early second round, just depending on who else is there. Like I take him over Harrison straight up, just for the positional value. Like if Garrett Wilson would obviously be above him. Puka is like a kind of back and forth on that. Like just I guess depends on how frisky I'm feeling that day of who I'd grab in that instance. But I mean, I feel like he's worthy of an early second spot in this format.
Oh, no. But you guys were on McBride as a first round pick. That's why I'm asking you to defend that take. Don't walk it back now. Yeah. You guys were saying you want to take McBride in the first. Go down on your back. So like, just to be clear, you guys are not interested in Jamar in the event that he slides to us at 111. You'd rather have McBride or LaPorta.
No, if Jamar Chase slides to us at 11, I think he becomes a fairly easy pick. I do think that, if LaPorta's gone, if Jamar Chase is gone, Jefferson's gone, Garrett Wilson's gone, probably McBride is the next guy for me. So
you think so?
At 11, I'm not taking Saquon over him. I'm not taking Taylor over him. Gibbs is a little more tempting, but probably not.
That's a tough one. I mean, I think Gibbs is the tough one to me, right? Like, yeah. I mean, just looking at how this board broke, I'd honestly think Chase does fall to us at 11 because now you can see probably Jefferson and Wilson moved up, and then Chase comes back. Although, okay, so I guess the real question here is AJ Brown versus McBride, right? Like that's, I think
that's not a question for me.
That's not a question, right?
Not for me. For me, I'm definitely McBride over AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown's a clear second round pick value.
I think we get both. Is my point there? But you take McBride first, and then you force the AJ Brown, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Although even in the second, I think I would probably push back against an AJ Brown pick.
Ooh.
At some point, he definitely becomes a valuable pick. I just think that's probably a little bit later than. I don't know. It's probably around 205.
With AJ. Mm-hmm. Why? And what has you so bearish on AJ Brown?
I mean, it's just that I prefer some of the guys who are going in the second over him. Like, I'd rather have Puka. I'd rather have Gibbs. I would have maybe Taylor ahead of Brown.
Ooh, so like I guess I'm kind of with it, right? In that like there is like a clear like tier break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where and then there's a very okay, so very clear value. I guess so. Like, what are your guys' takes on, or what are your feelings on going tight end running back? Right, that's a tough one.
Depends on who the running back is.
Yeah, and I guess
it's going to be Gibbs or Taylor, right?
And who? Is Puka there? Because then, we got Puka on another team too. But
yeah, well, I think for us, it almost like I think we get McBride or LaPorta, and then it's probably a running back. I mean, it's a wide receiver, not necessarily. I mean, I guess the only running back I consider there would be Gibbs, probably not JT, but. And I probably take Gibbs ahead of Olave, AJ Brown, Kupp, Puka, Drake London. If I'm being honest with you,
you would take Brown ahead of.
No, I take Gibbs earlier than those guys. Yeah, right. Like I take Gibbs earlier than those guys.
So I just want to pull up as well the recent ADP for this contest. So like since Friday, we'll say.
Right. Like I think just looking at the way
this is 87 drafts, by the way. you can see that, I mean, LaPorta's going in the second. So he, I think, has a good chance to fall to us at 11, which would obviously be pretty nice.
Yeah, see, then I don't know if I want to be that all in on like Detroit. Like Gibbs and LaPorta, at that point, we're just all becoming Detroit fans.
There are worse things to be.
No, they're not. There's like 3 Detroit Lions guys going in like within like 7 picks of each other, and someone, and like from like where we're sitting right now, this all is fine. The issue is you're drafting all of these guys so highly that any injury to Goff really will destroy this team. You know what I mean? Like just from like a risk management perspective, if that makes sense. Like Jared Goff is good. This entire team is good, and I want pieces of it. I don't necessarily know if I want to go all in on them like that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair.
Like it's more or less like, I know we can't pick the winners, right? But it's also you don't want to be left bag holding a team that's like DOA. And like, I know that's like a dumb take or whatever, and like people can pan it in the event that Detroit turns out to smashing it. But you're drafting all of these guys in the first, late, like early second, and like realistically you need them all to produce, right? Like ARSB is going in the first, LaPorta is going in the first, Gibbs is going in the first. We know these are all like smash plays, but like the fact that we have to, like there is, just from that's just maybe more so from like a risk perspective or a risk management perspective. But I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I've been having a harder time clicking on Gibbs this offseason. I mean, I like him as a player, like the potential, but it's like I said, that there's just a lot of other people. Like I would take Puko probably over Gibbs straight up. It'd pretty much have to be the elite guy, like McBride and LaPorta would have to be gone, and then probably Puko would probably have to be gone for me to like, okay, now like Gibbs is in there, and I don't think it's really going to come to that in this draft. But we found out in that first draft that people are willing to get silly in these. I don't really know what's going on, but hopefully that people just kind of getting a little wild with their picks benefits us, as opposed to like pulls the wool over eyes or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get 2 guys that we really like. Like, I mean, we can come to an agreement on in the first 2 rounds.
Actually, like, I know the draft, it just kicked off. We've got like the horn going off in my ears, but like, let's just check some of the other like picks, right? Like, we can talk about, like, I think we wanted to talk about a handful of running backs. You want to talk a little bit about Pacheco? Blair, you were saying that it's absolutely been a bafflement for you. And I wonder how many because you guys, if there's anyone in our draft who's sitting here to stream snipe us, can you please identify yourselves now? Oh my God. Paul said he got Nico at 409 in his last Fantasy Pros contest. Guys, this is we're not taking down the Millie. I can tell you that right now. But
that's pretty nice.
But we're gonna try.
Where does Pacheco go in these drafts after the still 303? And this is just in the last 2 days. Do you want
to share? Pacheco looks like he's going. Yeah, to 303. Do you want to actually share our live draft board?
I
also,
do.
if there are guys who are stream sniping or trying to stream snipe, good luck. There's zero coherence in this team and with the way we think. But but please identify yourselves in our chat so we can have some good bants. All right, thanks. But yeah, so let's talk Pacheco, right? Like, I am curious about like why you said he was such an awful take, and you said he was an awful take before they signed Pirine. Now with Pirine, oh my God, Brees 103, that's a nice pick.
Yeah, Brees is aggressive. Well, look, Kevin just wrote up the Chiefs backfield for a newsroom article that published a few minutes before we went live here, so I think he's got the down low on Pacheco, but if he doesn't agree that Pacheco's the worst pick in any draft, then I'm happy to tell him why.
No, I actually made that take. I just did that the NFL.com kind of write up at ADP, and I said, yeah, he's probably the worst take because in that he's going like almost the end of the second, I would say. But I mean, it's just more of just a volume play. He just has that dead zone that zone sort of profile. He did get a lot. He actually ran like the most routes out of any of the Chiefs running backs last year, but among running backs that had 50 targets, he was like second to last in yards per route, I think, or he was second to last in dead last in yards per route and yards per target. So it's just like they needed to add somebody, and unless he's corralling all that workload, I just don't really have a lot of faith in him just as being worth something like that early. Just basically just seems like a stereotypical dead zone guy to me. So I don't know if I've drafted him like at all this draft season. Honestly, I just kind of hard fade.
I think it's the same for me. So like the thing with Pacheco, what actually does make it interesting, at least from a targets perspective, and I just want to like harp on this again, like with you. Last year, the Chiefs really didn't have anybody in terms of like actual target competition, right? You had like an aging Travis Kelce, a Rashid Rice who didn't really emerge until later, something called MVS, right? Like Justin Watson, a handful of other guys, right? They went out, they picked up Xavier Worthy. They didn't even really use Jerick McKinnon a lot last year. They were still giving CEH, run, and then they instantly went out and like picked up Pirine, who, and this is like, in all honesty, like low key, one of the funniest things of like about the NFL, the fact that we know like nothing about the NFL, right, is like how Pirine turned into like being a third down receiving only back. Whereas like what was like everyone was like, that's going to be like the Joe Mixon role. Like that was kind of what he does. And like Joe Mixon turned out to be like a shittier Samaje Perine in the NFL, right? Where like Perine is like this third down guy. And even now, like I think Andy Reid came out and said that like Perine is going to be active on Thursday night, right? And he just joined and he's walking in off the, hasn't spent like much time on the in the practice room with these guys, but he is going to be active, which I think is an interesting take. So yeah, to your point, Kevin, yeah, it feels like he's going to get a lot of that, like the low value touches type of thing, right? Like, and I think what like actually kind of what like detracts it a little bit from like the high value touch idea or like the play of like that marching the ball up and down the field is that like there's so much speed on this like Chiefs's receiver room, right? Like I mean, like Xavier Worthy is your classic lid lifter. Rashid Rice can march the ball as well down the field. They've still got a bunch of guys out there, so it's going to be really I wonder how often we're going to be seeing Pacheco getting work in the green zone is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on your MVS take. I think I had a case of MVS once. Doctor gave you some penicillin and it went right away. So
yeah. Yeah, it's well, I mean, it's like MVS is like fine, like we know he's fine, but like people would like chase him so high and like like the whole off season. I think the one really sad thing about this off season was that the Chiefs got rid of Michael Thomas so early. Because like every year, like clockwork, man, there's a whole bunch of high volume drafters who all keep posting about like how Michael Thomas is such a steal. Like it doesn't matter where his ADP is, he's like such a steal in the 4th round, he's such a steal in the 7th round, such a steal in the 9th round. And these guys like, oh, there goes Jamar Chase, so like these guys got like saved by themselves from themselves. Like it's kind of sad actually in a sense because like
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs are just a completely different team this year. I mean, to say I'm very happy that we don't have to chase guys like MVS and there's no more Sky Moore. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sky Moore made the team, didn't he? Or did they? I don't think.
I thought it was Justin Watson. Did Sky Moore make the team?
I think so. I didn't hear it. Or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, well, good thing we just don't have to chase those guys anymore.
No, he made the team, yeah, but we don't have to chase him.
Yeah. Right. We got Worthy and Rice, and I mean, to a lesser extent, Kelce. Like, I'm just happy that I feel.
Start filling out the queue here. Because you're not gonna like. Well, I have AJ Brown in the queue, so you're not gonna like him in the queue.
I added a few names. I think yours isn't updating yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. This isn't easy.
It's not easy because as long as it's not the person that you put at the top of the queue. Mm-hmm. We're taking LaPorta here, right?
Yeah, we're taking LaPorta here.
I'm ready to start sipping on that perp first round.
Let's do it. All right. RotoViz Rascals starting off right. Sam LaPorta.
Come on down.
Now,
and this
Kevin already has done a LaPorta Trey McBride draft, he was telling us. So I don't know if he wants to double up on that pairing, or what are you thinking? What's the thinking behind getting both of those guys, first of all? And how exposed do you want to be to that combo?
I think it was just more of just taking the value there. I think in that draft there just wasn't really anybody. That was actually a draft I did with while Ben and Sean were streaming, and I didn't know they were in that room. But like, yeah, it was just the value that was there. I just didn't see anybody I like better. So I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it again. The only other thing that I'm actually hoping AJ Brown does make it back because I kind of want him. Like, we got to pump up that drama.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm not a big believer in like pumping up the drama. You know, like I'm a really bad streamer in that regard. You know, like, although it would be funny seeing the 110 go for Saquon and AJB. That would though be a pretty filthy start if I'm being honest. But
does it seem like a good start?
What? Saquon plus AJB?
I mean, would you rather be LaPorta and Gibbs or Saquon and AJB?
Shit, man. I think I only for the positional value would probably be LaPorta and Gibbs.
Yeah,
but I just love AJB, man. Like, it's so fucking tough.
I think Joe King's got the right idea in the second as well as the first.
Why is this guy loving Kincaid about Trey McBride? Wow. I mean, okay. I actually.
No, that's interesting.
I actually kind of like. I don't hate it. I kind of like AJ Brown here. Yeah, exactly. AJ Brown is a grown ass man. I don't have a clip to play.
Well, so my vote would be McBride. Hasan wants AJ Brown. Kevin gets to break the tie.
Oh, well, I was actually
Kevin, choose a completely different guy.
Yeah, all right.
Puka.
I was going to say Puka because I already have the McBride LaPorta team. So
we do already have a Puka team as well.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, Kincaid threw me because I thought he'd be McBride.
Yeah,
I think AJ Brown's the pick, dude.
What do you think, Kevin? You okay with AJ Brown?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't have much of him, so let's get.
He's a grown ass man, dude. Look, you're gonna see him like go off like the first thing on week 1, and you're gonna be like, damn. Also, think of this: like we have Devonta Smith on that other team, and like AJ Brown's a natural hedge. Like, what if Devonta Smith is still like Devonta Smith? Right, that's like he could just be the overvalued Eagles receiver in this entire like core, right? Like a wide receiver 18 or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where it's take lock, and then it just gets multiplied over and over. Where I haven't really been taking AJ Brown as much, so I just kind of forget like how good he is, and then you watch him the first week, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's a grown ass man. Like he's beating up DBs, and I just think that like in my mind maybe it's like the AJ Brown hate has gone too far where I just like he's not like a round 3 receiver or anything like that. He's still one of the elite receivers in the NFL. It's just kind of like my preferences have kind of pushed him out of my mind as far as like a justifiable pick in most drafts.
Kev Wheeler, AJ Brown equals wide receiver 1 overall. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, down probably. Joe King, 8 targets a game. AJB plus sets up the Hurts slide stack in the 5th. Let's all hope. Let's hope. These are all good points. Yeah, I think it is funny that you guys spent a lot of time becoming AJ Brown haters on this stream. Look, like the big thing about AJ Brown that you have to be scared of is he might actually hear this and he will find you and he will kill you. So I would be very careful.
Yeah, I'm not an AJ Brown hater, I wouldn't say. I am pretty bullish about Devontae Smith.
I am too, but like I also won't, like am a little cognizant of the fact that he is wide receiver 18, right? Like it is. AJ Brown retweeted the Denny Carter tweet. He's the GOAT. That's right. AJ Brown the second. Yeah, the one about the wide receiver. Yeah, that's like the classic one. like the one everyone should know. If you like I mean, that's like even if you're like tangentially connected to fantasy football in any way, you should see that. Like, you probably know it at some point.
AJ Brown was awesome for the first 9 weeks and terrible for the last, from then on. Now, of course, so was everybody else in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Eagles completely were like a dumpster fire. I don't know what happened there. If there's any Eagles fans in the chat who can actually like talk to us beyond like the coaching and the locker room, like what happened? Like that team went from like Super Bowl locks to like this implosion that I've never seen before.
I mean, the concerning thing is that in that stretch, Devontae Smith did have 2 wide receiver 1 weeks and 2 wide receiver 2 weeks. Like he outplayed AJ Brown in that stretch. So I don't know totally what to make of that. I mean, maybe if you explain it as Philadelphia not emphasizing AJ Brown as much, and it kind of showed up in their win-loss record, their win-loss columns as well.
They were the entire offense was lost though. Well, so the one thing that I'm really I'm happy about, well, or at least I'm a little nervous about, is look at how like yellow this draft board is right now, right? Like you've got.
I think we'll get McBride back in the 3rd.
Well, let's hope. Although the Travis Kelce pick is interesting, right? Like, what's the RB strat at 111? Right? Joe, that's a very good question, because
I think it's Gibbs or bust, right?
Yeah.
At the 111,
Gibbs or punt.
If everyone is still going heavy wide receiver, yeah. So yeah, The teams figured them out, right? Like the teams figured out the Eagles and were able to blitz and cover them outside because Hurts throws the ball over the middle at the lowest rate of basically any QB in the NFL. That's kind of what I remember reading a lot as well, like last year. And I'm just sort of confused as to how the Eagles OCs and like the coaching staff and the analytics staff and everybody else that we know gets that entire like team to go weren't able to truly adjust, which is a little nerve-wracking, right? Like it's still a very, very talented team, right? Blair is actually he just added Derrick Henry and Isaiah Pacheco and also Josh Jacobs to our queue. Gonna have to see if we can kick him from this team. I don't understand.
Even going back even to the Eagles stuff, the one thing that kind of worries me is, the Eagles were a very hyped up team for the last couple of seasons. And then Kellen Moore, when he was with Dallas and then he left, on bad terms with Mike McCarthy, he goes to Los Angeles, kind of gets hyped up as, he's going to take Justin Herbert to the next level. And he kind of fizzles out. So we kind of have two like downward spiraling entities meeting each other in the middle and coming together. And I just don't know. I mean, I'm nervous about the Eagles this year. Honestly, I don't know what it's going to look like. I hope it looks, it's probably gonna be higher pass rates and things in like things like that. But I mean, I am a little nervous. So I hope I'm wrong for our sakes.
Joe, although you did pose a good question about what is our RB strat. So I didn't want to bring this up to you guys, right? So where are we at with like James Cook if he somehow falls to us in the 5th, if this remains like an aggressively wide receiver heavy draft, which given the fact that Devontae Adams just went at like the 211, like that's a pretty good symbol of this being an RB like a wide receiver heavy draft.
So James Cook is going in the middle of the 4th right now. So if he falls to us at 411, maybe that's a little bit tempting. I think he's probably not my favorite pick in the 4th.
No, but we're really in. When you're looking at what we're dealing with, right? Because like I'm just trying to think, or at least work a little bit backwards on the future, right? Like when you're looking at guys like Kenneth Walker or James Cook down at like the 5'11" is what we're hoping for, right? I don't know if they make it there, right? I don't know if they make it there.
Oh, you're right. I was looking at the wrong. I was thinking the 4th went the other way.
Yeah, no, you're good.
3rd round reversal brain or something.
Yeah, but that's like, it's tough, right? Like, because like realistically, what we're probably like with how heavy. Well, this is a lot more wide receiver heavy than our previous draft, right?
Right. So for that reason, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
we
Paul
might
is
get
right
some
if you don't
value
get
on
it.
these guys, but at the same time, I don't want to get stuck out. I don't want to be
Oh,
light at
no.
wide receiver.
No, of course not, right? Like, it's kind of what Paul just wrote in the chat, which is like, if you don't get an RB in the first 2 rounds, it's always 0 RB in this format, which is fair. But like, when you're talking about
Especially
James
at the back
Cooks,
end of the draft.
yeah, exactly, because you have to make that differential up somehow. But like, my bigger concern, right, is there's a very big fall off at wide receiver, right? Like, we know there's like 36, 37, 38 ish wide receivers that are worth drafting, right? Like, along in those first 5 rounds. But look at how aggressive this room is in terms of wideouts. And so like, that's where like you want to start at least having some level of logic branches as to like, if I don't get, hang on, I'm trying to like give you a good example of this, right? Like Terry McLaurin versus I guess Terry McLaurin. This is probably, I mean, Terry McLaurin versus Kenneth Walker would be a real question here, right? Like, if this remains as wide receiver heavy as we think it is.
Like if Walker falls to 5'11",
Yeah.
McLaurin is still there.
And McLaurin is still there,
at
right?
5'11", I think Walker's a great pick, but you also might have somebody like Zay Flowers, Tank Dell,
right? Yeah, Tank Dell, right?
Worthy
like
might be there, so it does become a little tricky.
So I was actually in that equation, I think those guys are going to go sort of around where we're picking in the 4th, like early 4th, right? Like, because if this remains, because look, see, like that, like to your point, like Isaiah Pacheco goes over there. That's not. I mean, I don't think I really want Isaiah Pacheco as like in my RB7 at all, right? Like to me that's Achan, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we already have talked about why we're pretty pessimistic on Pacheco.
Right, yeah. And
Achan should definitely be going ahead of Pacheco.
Achan should have been there, right?
As should ETN.
Right. It should be ETN, should be Kyron, it should be, definitely. Like all these guys. Like, I don't like, so like, I mean, the Pacheco pick there is a little baffling, right? Like, I think I'd rather have, like, in all honesty, Josh Jacobs over Pacheco. Like, it's the same, but it's the same play. It's the same play, right? Except Jacobs has less competition now. AJ Dillon's out.
As long as Lloyd is hurt, yeah.
Well, yeah, and Lloyd is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Soggy danger. No HN yet is wild. Yes, sir. It is wild. And I'm really hoping this team picking out of Juice Crew, I hope they take him. Because they started Bijan Kelsey, but I'm expecting them to keep this wide receiver party rolling. So realistically, and I don't think we can pivot out of wide receiver here. Like, I don't think we
falls.
can.
If HN falls, I'd take him.
If HN falls, but then that's right. And that's but that's our logic branch right there, right? Like if we get him, then that's who it is. But otherwise, we're looking at right now. We're looking at. Oh, I was gonna ask and chat. Please chime in at some point, like on this as well, because we need some guidance. Jalen Waddle is still hurt. He was seen in a non-practice jersey. He might fall to us. So that is an offense, right? Like, this is like the exact opposite of Detroit, where I'm like, Miami is going cheaper than some of these other guys, and like they're Waddle just went, but like the pie there is so big that you actually want all these guys at cost, I think. Right? Mm-hmm. Got Waddle in the 4th a few days ago. Joe, Paul's got like Nico in the 4th. Joe's got Waddle in the 4th. We've got there goes ETN. Meanwhile, we've got George Pickens in the 4th.
Pickens. I don't think we took him in the 4th, but
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. There goes Achan. Too bad.
Okay.
Now here's a gross idea that might happen though. Derrick Henry is still there.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Like Derrick Henry, like I don't think I want Henry right now. I think I'd rather. There's a couple of like interesting wide receivers in our queue right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like tell me where. So I guess rank some of these guys in our queue for me, right? Like I'm actually thinking, man. All right,
I moved them a little. Oh,
Henry came to ship chasing at like 404 once this summer. Yeah, so like, yeah, like see, rest. If this is sort of where Blair is. I mean, we know he's a Ravens fan. Could happen again. Yeah, this is like the issue. Is like Derrick Henry is such an interesting name to pull here, Blair. Oh
Well,
no,
I mean, the
he
other
just
thing
goes.
is that
Yeah.
too
Henry's
bad. The
gone.
other thing, of course, is that like Mitchell is one of the most interesting backup running backs in the league, but he's going to be
Keaton,
out.
no,
till, like,
he's.
week
I think.
9 or something.
I think Keaton. I think Keaton Mitchell's like dust this year, and it sucks because I've got a lot of him.
Right? It sounds like he might not play
He might not play
at all in the regular season or something. I don't know.
Maybe not play until November, and even then, you don't know how much athleticism has been sapped and everything else, which is Rashid Ali's season, right? All right, so there goes Deebo. Where do we do? So I guess really the question here is, when you're looking at what are. So I'm thinking our picks here. Well, at least for me, the pick here is probably Ayuk or DJ Moore.
I think
it's Ayuk, dude.
Okay, I would make a case for Rashee Rice here.
I think Rashid Rice comes right back to us, dude.
Well, he's actually going earlier than Ayuk in the latest ADP. And he's going, the only person on our queue who he's going later than is Devontae Smith, but this is an AJ Brown team already. So
yeah, so I mean realistically, so just to give full visibility,
Rice is the least likely to come back.
Okay, so then let's take Rice, and then one of Ayuk, DJ Moore, or DK Metcalf is our pick next, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You good with Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have another person I want to argue for it at.
I mean, why not? Yeah, why not put Joe? Yeah,
put it at the top of the queue.
So I think because like the last thing I wanted from this team was it to just turn into like a hedge team of our prior team, right? Like I don't want to be like we took Deebo on that team, now we're taking Ayuk. We took Devonta Smith, we're taking AJ Brown. Like I don't want that, right? Like not only is it like bad form, it's just like you're cucking yourself, right? Like in the long run.
We reached a little for Rice, but he was going earlier than Ayuk. He was going earlier than DJ Moore. He was going after Metcalf, but I'm not that much into Metcalf this year.
I mean, the big thing, and I don't know why my camera is broken now, which is just great. But like I think the big thing here is that Devonta Smith. I don't understand. All right, guys, I'm really sorry. I don't understand why my camera's off. I think my computer is staging a revolt.
Skynet is active.
No, I have no way. I am not all that interested in Kyle Pitts here, dude. Sorry.
Why?
I'm just. You can't see my expression.
I can't, but tell me why. You turned off your camera just to say this?
His name rhymes with shit. He's not that good, man. Like he's good. It's fine. I just don't really have any interest in him at like the expense of wide receivers because we're not gonna get that many.
Well,
call Silva.
That was interesting.
All right. So this is Ayuk. Come on, man. This has to be Ayuk.
I'm good with Ayuk, unless Kevin will back me up with Kyle Pitts.
I don't know how Hasan feels about Bowers, but I would rather just kind of push it and grab the wide receiver now. And
I think
get Bowers.
Yeah, and then we can get Bowers or like Njoku later. And I will be right. I will leave the studio and I will be back.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what the hell's happening here.
We'll see.
I'm actually gonna call I'm calling Evan Silva for help, and I'm also gonna call every boomer that I can think of. I'm gonna call Eric Balkman as well. This has to be like his shit. I'm actually gonna ask in the draft room if anyone over here works in IT. Hey Balky, Scott again tonight. Hang on, I'm actually asking the chat here.
Oh my gosh, let's not.
You can share this.
I don't know. We gotta work on our.
You can share the chat. I'll be right back.
I'm not gonna share the chat. The chat could get too crazy. I can't vouch for the content that's in the chat. All right. Hasan is asking the chat if any of them work in IT. We'll see if any of them come back. In the meantime, I mean, in a room that looked like it was going to be really wide receiver heavy, we've seen quite a few running backs come off the board in the third, but then we're back to a lot of wide receiver picks. I mean, how far are you comfortable pushing these running backs down the board before you take your first running back in a 0 RB build like this?
Looking at the running through ADPs, I mean, like Stevenson goes.
Should I let him back in?
He's back. we got Stevenson at a value last time, but he generally goes at the end of round 6. So like 7, round 8 is like I would say the running backs dry up quicker on FFPC than I'm used to, like just being like a super high volume underdog guy. So I always just make sure to be like intentional about focusing on where the running backs are. And it's so easy to make those wide receiver clicks that I kind of got to like take a step back and be like, you need to get running backs. You need to get running backs. Cause earlier in the season, like when I first started doing FFPC drafts this year, I was like just hammering wide receiver over and over again. And then I got to the end and I'm like, these running backs are terrible.
I will say, Blair, though, good call on Pitts there. Like that's like good instinct. If you want to default, I mean, if you wanna go join Team 9, I mean, like actually, I wonder if Team 9
looks like a team we would draft.
Yeah, that's like Jamar. I mean, that's like our start from the 109 last Sunday. Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
The only thing
is neighbors falling, and
we had neighbors falling.
Yeah,
and then we took Bowers. Like Pitts is also a good pick here,
but he wasn't a good pick at the 402.
It works for that team because they didn't have the onesie position, and we had LaPorta.
It's tight end premium,
I know, but we do have two. Like we have 2 final outs. Like to Kevin's point, Bowers and Njoku, right? Like Bowers particularly. Like I don't mind going double Bowers, right? Like,
why not all 3?
Because you can't play. Can you? Yeah, you can. I guess 1 tight end and then
there's 2 flex. Yeah,
2 flex. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that's a good idea, but
I would not.
And Bowers is interesting just from the perspective of like, do you think they need to use him more so as a receiver than everything else that comes with it, right?
Well. Yeah, I don't think they'll use him much as a blocker. I think you might see him line up in the backfield quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I would have thought 1 team 1 to 6 would
actually
give more or not.
Like, I mean, yeah, that's kind of interesting that he's like this weapon that you can move all over the field. But for fantasy, I think you'd rather have him catching passes.
Yeah. Man, what's really disappointing about like this crew tonight, like on this draft, it's been a very quiet draft room. No one's like talking about like any of the fun side activities they're doing while drafting. No one's like, yeah, that's right, Joe. These next 2 picks determine everything for this build. Very correct.
Those are like double-digit round conversations. I think we'll get to that soon.
What is? Oh yeah, no. If the 5 spot had McBride over Kelsey, I'm very, very much with you. Like that would be. Could you imagine, right? And Joe is right too. Like the next 2 picks determine everything for this build. So just like I guess a question for the chat: what would you guys do if you were us? Right? Like where would you be taking this?
Yeah, we could maybe have the chat vote on our next pick.
Wisdom of the crowds, dude. Fantasy Douche was always big on that.
Now, does it work if the crowds are all like viewers of a RotoViz live stream and all part of the same hive mind? I'm not sure.
Well, that's actually even stronger.
Good point. That's true.
As long as they pick the wide receiver,
he is right. Yeah, because Hurts feels like actually the thing with Hurts is I think Hurts might actually consider Kenneth Walker, otherwise take wide receivers.
Wish we could have. He just went.
Wide receiver there is great, no question. So the way that I'm thinking of this is like since team 112 already took a quarterback, and if Hurts makes it, we'll just take Hurts at 602.
This
right?
is a good point.
Yeah,
like
Dell
Dell.
should be there. I do like Dell.
That's good, yeah.
Like I think 602 we could probably pencil in Hurts here, right?
Well, I mean, 602 we've already implicitly penciled in for Bowers, so I'm open to taking. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think stacking in this format is not as powerful as in best ball, and I'd probably prefer to push QB a little bit.
You know the one thing I will say, and I mean there is one wide receiver who I'm very surprised people letting fall or slide here. I'm kind of hoping he makes his way back to us. Yeah, it's just my nemesis because of who he is. But man, Low T Higgins would really tie the room together if he slid.
Did we get him on the last? Did we get him in the fourth round of the last one? I think we did.
I think so.
Oh,
there goes Jalen Hurts. So Hurts is gone.
Phew! Happy not to have to have that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm just, I think across the board, pretty down on the Eagles. Besides like Shipley and Devonta Smith, I really have not been drafting very many Eagles at all this year. And I'm just wondering.
Part of that is just, I think, at least for me, a little bit of recency bias with how their season ended, right?
Yeah, probably.
So
I think
maybe they're undervalued this year.
I think. Well, I mean, you still have to pay a premium, right? Like.
Right.
So
it doesn't seem like
there goes.
I guess
So there goes. I mean, so I guess the original conversation that we had about Walker v McLaurin was pretty much decided, since they went right there. Yeah, man, Joe. I do like the Zay Lamar. That would be so sick. That would be so sick. But with all these quarterbacks flying right now, I really don't think we're gonna get him.
Yeah, I like Joe's part 2 of that comment there a little.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much with the second part of that comment as well, right? Like Worthy and Dell. As an Eagles fan, I'm biased, but man, their offense was so basic last year. Beat reporters are posting practice clips of play action. Like, wow, we didn't see any of this last year. Yeah, so like that's kind of the thing, man. Is like it's so weird, like a tale of two halves for the Eagles. Which again, we don't necessarily need to like keep rehashing. But what is interesting, at least to me, was just how like day and night their season started and ended. And if any of you guys are watching USC LSU, this has been a pretty fun game. I'm just so happy to have football back, man. Even if it is college, and I'm really excited for us being back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so there are a few very interesting names who are sliding here, and I don't want to like say them out loud. Oh, cool. Did my camera do that thing again? No, it didn't.
You're good.
Yeah, I might have to figure out what might be time to retire the old laptop and maybe work my way to the desktop, buy a digital camera.
I like what Recife
part
said
of the charm of
this
stream.
That's what I'm really worried about is like basically like, I mean, Hurts didn't lose his talent, like as an Eagles
there
fan,
goes Low T.
Having a little more insight into kind of things, being a local guy, I'm pretty worried that like my take is wrong. And like Blair said, the recency bias is kicking in a little too strong. It's like even knowing about these things, like you can still fall victim to them. So I very well might be wrong about the Eagles this year.
So T. Higgin goes. I mean, that is just wild to me. Team 104. It's a nice team too. Tyreek, McBride, Kyron, Pittman, and then he got Higgins. Man, hey, Dave Philippi, what's going on?
How's it going?
Man, Juice Crew is such a fucking nice team. Imagine if you had McBride. God damn.
Ooh, Tank Dell would have been nice. It's a little bit early for him.
Oh, Dell earlier than I don't want to say it, but he might not make it to us. We all know who is going earlier than, and why is that happening? I guess is my question. Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That is the ultimate floor, not awesome pick of every draft.
Low T, he killed a guy in the field. It was higher T than that. That is, I mean, Kev, look, that's actually very true. That is true. Yeah. The only reason I call him low T is because I've drafted him as like my wide receiver too. So like, either in the second or the third, and he's really murdered my teams, man. And typically whenever I call him low T, that's when he goes for like 30 points. So by me calling him low T here, I was hoping he fall to us, and now I'm just hoping I'm cursing him to not, for him to go off.
He didn't take him on the other team, by the way.
No, we didn't.
It was Devontae Smith in the fourth.
I know. Yeah. Man, like T. Higgins would have really tied this receiver room together somehow. But man, we have four picks to fade. Yeah. We have 4 picks to fade, and there is like, I don't know. Actually, you know what? There goes Diggs. Yeah. Dank Dell. So like Dank Dell earlier than Diggs is not a take that I am big on, right? Like
Q kind of got wiped out on that one.
Our Q went from like, that's right, Joe.
Lots of options here. I'm not so sure, but let us know who.
Actually, Kevin, like, what is your Amari Cooper take?
I think
here's your words carefully, Kevin.
I am not been drafting very much of him this year. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Browns offense in general. I just don't see it. As somebody who watches their games every week, it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, his whole career has been boom or bust, and especially in a managed league, it's not always the best.
The big thing about Diggs over Dell is that, like, I really don't want a guy who's like maybe a foot taller than my 4-year-old, like, and he's made to block on the goal line. I really don't want him on my roster. That's who I had. Okay, so I think the pick here is worthy, right? Like, it has to be worth. Well,
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
let's do it. No need to drag it out if we're all on the same page.
And I do think that the Chiefs really could do the whole, or Mahomes could get to that. It could be a 5,050 season. I keep saying it. Like I say, that whole offense just seems like it's just completely transformed. And, I think we're in for a big thing. Same with that in the Texans. Like, I think Stroud and Mahomes could both be 5,050 guys this year in the same season. That should have been my bold take for the article that just came out, but a little too late on that.
Week 1 brain. I don't know, man. There's a guy getting
Diggs over Dallas week 1 brain.
Diggs over Dallas. The biggest issue. I think again, like, I actually like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Dell. I also don't like. I really don't like. I also.
It's a good
how much bigger do you think Worthy is than Tank? A
little bit.
Not
taller,
that much. Not that much. Yeah, right? Just a little bit. I think he also weighs a little bit more, right? So there goes Joe Mixon.
I think he weighs a little bit less.
Weighs a little bit less.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Do you think?
Question is, how much faster is he than Tank?
Well, I guess the actual question is, how far do you think Patrick Mahomes can put the ball into Worthy's hands and then try and like hammer throw him to the end zone? Do you think that's possible? Am I the only Connor fan here? Thicker ankles. Well, so like, I am actually a James Conner fan, but I think Kevin will drive down from Cleveland to kill me tonight if I bring him up, because I am kind of interested in. There's like 2 running backs I really like over here, and it's James Conner and Aaron Jones. I think are the 2 that I'm interested in here, and I think this could be James Conner. Like, we might want to consider him here.
I'd consider either of those running backs here. I think that in either case, there's a pick I like better, but I do not have anything against Connor. I think he's a good pick for this season. Mm-hmm. There goes Cooper.
Yeah, now, I'm the same with Connor, because he just always misses a few games, and I think Benson could come in, and we've had some discussions about Benson, and I think he could come in and actually like take at least force a timeshare. So,
well, the thing is that Benson's going so cheap that like an argument can be made to handcuff, and I also think that we could potentially back this up by taking Kyler Murray or thinking through Kyler Murray.
All right. The other thing, I mean, like Bowers here is the end of a tier at tight end.
Yeah.
Well, Bowers and Njoku are the two.
But I even think, I mean, Njoku's not coming back, so I think it's Bowers or Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Bowers.
Yeah, I would go Bowers as well.
Then I'm outvoted. I go Connor, but we can go Bowers.
Sorry, we'll try and get Connor on the way back.
Oh, prayers up.
It's not looking too likely, but
I mean, yeah.
Bowers is screenshot.
Joe King has what maybe is the right take here, even though I might disagree with it. He might be right.
Well, I think he is right here, right? Like I think it does well because here's how this is gonna wind up is like we might end up with Ramondre again. Which is sad to say. Although I would have probably taken either Jones or Connor. Well, I mean, I guess optimistically, true 0 RB. That's well. I mean, optimistically, I think we can all agree that there's one running back who would be very interesting if he makes it back to us. That would be Javonte Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I think like I didn't want another George Pickens team. Optimistically, Deontay makes it back. He's probably not going to, right? A lot of these guys are not making it back, so I'm just going to put them in the queue so we can see when they all go.
So I got a question for you guys. Like, how big of a difference do you really feel like there is between Connor and Ramondre? I mean, I know.
Oh, Connor hands down, dude.
Really?
Connor hands down, yeah. Like it's the same bat, but like Connor's in the better offense, right?
Yeah, that's what the biggest thing was, and I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think that it's warranted. I guess I don't think it's warranted for like that big of a gap between the two. At first I was pretty shy on Ramondre this season, but then like over time I'm like, I think I'm fading this guy for the wrong reasons. Like he doesn't really have any competition. He's a volume play, but I mean sometimes that's not the worst thing in the world at certain spots in the draft.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you build your team, right? Especially in like formats like this where you have to actually make sit-start decisions. I think realistically, what you're looking for and kind of what you want out of all of this is not having to think through those, right? Like you really want you really don't want to be tap dancing on like the head of like or like tap dancing on goals as you keep looking for trying to find viable guys, right? Like squint, maybe like Jerome Ford makes sense or some of these other guys, right? But like Chuba Hubbard or whatever fucking dog shit, guys you're picking up, right? Like we all saw what happened when a bunch of donkeys took Miles Sanders in like the 3rd round last year, right? And now Miles Sanders is largely going undrafted, but like Chuba Hubbard's going in like the 11th or 10th or 9th or whatever, right? And like the bet's still the same. It just flipped now, right? Like Chuba was the guy going like undrafted last year and it was Miles Sanders, and now the bet is like flipped. Like who's to say that doesn't flip again this year? Got Stevenson at 8.5 this week. Yeah, we got him fairly late last week as our RB1. I actually still think, I mean, Blair, to your point though, I still like Bowers on this team.
Yeah, we got Stevenson at 8.4 in the one we did last week. And if we have to,
our team's 107 or 109 in the chat right now. Well, 109 with Alvin Kamara is a tough one, but
and Godwin.
17 and 109 feels like teams that we would make.
Yeah, I do like Team 107. That's a nice team there.
And just if you're on audio, that team is Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Devon Achane, Evan Ingram, Zay Flowers, James Conner.
Team 5 is strong too.
Team 5 is strong too. That is Bijan, Travis Kelce, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Tank Dell. If that team had Trey McBride, though, man.
Instead of Kelce,
yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, actually, I kind of like Team 1 too, even with the early Hurts pick. If they can get some more wide receiver depth.
Yeah, but it's getting
any team with McCaffrey looks good.
is getting so dry. And there goes Deontay. The team 105 knows what the hell they're doing, dude. That is, it sucks so much when you're dealing with guys who can do stuff like this.
Do you anticipate Bowers being in your week 1 lineup?
In our other team, absolutely. On this team,
probably not.
Not on this team.
Unless, I mean, there's no reason to think Ayuk wouldn't play, right?
No, he got his contract, dude.
I guess the only thing would be because Rice and Worthy both play on Thursday night. If one of them absolutely duds, we might want to put Bowers in the flex instead. Yeah, right, exactly.
Depends on where they take a peek. Yeah,
and Rice.
It stinks so much because some of these teams are really nice, dude. If 105 had taken McBride, I would have been posting.
Brown actually plays on Friday night too.
Mm-hmm. Christian Kirk goes. So 104 is also a good team, right? Tyreek Hill, Trey McBride, Kyron Williams, Michael Pittman, and D. Higgins is such a get out of jail free card there, and Christian Kirk. Yeah, man. I really think that early running back move really does open so much stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
It does take some pressure off of having to get these guys to hit later. Yeah. We are scrambling on our other team a little bit to fill that running back 2 spot. Yeah. And it takes a little bit of pressure off of you to have to do that as much. But
and to be fully candid, we should talk about some of the actual conversations we've been having about that other team, and one of them being me saying that we should consider a Miles Sanders take a peek, right? We know for a fact Jonathan Brooks is going to miss. He's on the NFI list, so he misses the first 4 games. The Panthers' bye is week 5, so the earliest you're going to see him is week 6, and that's halfway through the FFPC season is over, right? And even then, you don't know when he's going to be fully ramped up, right? Yeah. In order to make it to the actual dance, right, it becomes a different question. I do not like David Montgomery for that CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Isaiah Pacheco, James Cook, Patrick Mahomes team.
That's a lot of dead zone.
Well,
exposure.
I mean, but they call it the dead zone because these guys are going to kill you. So I do want to get
at 6'12" is
6'12" is nice. I was going to ask you
get back to us.
Yeah, so I was gonna say because Keenan might actually make it back to us. How much are you buying the fact that he is now an absolute unit of a man?
I'm not whatsoever.
I'm not. I really feel like that's the one where come week 2, you're just yeah.
It would be I think I would be a lot more concerned about Keenan if he had been actually bad last year, but it was one of his best seasons in terms of
exactly
fantasy points over expectation.
And also, if he somehow makes it back, that's very much shark jumping of Rome. There goes Keenan, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I
mean, he had 2 40-point games last year in PPR scoring.
Yeah.
Even he was still 31 last year, right? So
and he made it through with no issues. How much are we buying? I mean, this is very much. There are 3 quarterbacks I'm very much interested in here, and there's a handful of running backs I am very interested in if they make it to us. Right?
Jaden Reed went. Bummer.
I do not want Jaden Reed in this team, man.
Well, we did take him last time.
Well,
but he's one of the best picks in the 6th round.
Yeah, he is.
I'd be very, very happy to start considering at least one quarterback in particular. But if he makes it to us at the 11 here,
Keenan has let me down in the back half of a lot of seasons. Michael Ford, I'm really with you, Michael. He has. Part of that is just how old vets go, right? But in a tournament like this where you do need to start hot, that's kind of what we're looking at. I mean, realistically, so Anthony Richardson goes. That's one of the guys I was looking at. I know Blair really likes Jordan Love. For me, just from high comedy perspective, and really because of how insufferable Packers fans can be when they're good again. it would be very funny if we've already seen Jordan Love's peak of his career, and this is going to be an absolute dog shit year, because like it's like they behave like Patriots fans with like no success, right? So like watching them have an absolute meltdown about this massive, Jordan Love. I just think for like my own happiness and just in general, like just how funny and ironic, life can be. Type of situation there. So there goes Skyler. That's another guy who I was hoping to get.
Kevin, what do you think about this question in redraft specifically? Are you
As a Bears fan, I endorse this message.
Are you looking to stack your quarterback with one of your receivers?
I generally think it's more of it's like a tiebreaker, like anything else. Like if I have two guys that I can't choose between, I would pick the guy that I stack with, just for the fact, kind of the same sort of like, if you make it to the championship and you have both guys as your lineup and they explode, or really any week. I mean, I guess it may even be more like a more week winning play even in redraft, because you're obviously you're in a 1v1 every week in most leagues. So, but it's not something that I'm like, I need to make these stacks. But at the same time, I'm definitely not opposed to it.
All right, guys.
Well, we won't have to take Stevenson, so that's good.
I mean, realistically, for me, there's only one right answer at running back right now.
I think it's probably the guy we're all. Well, I think. Hopefully, I'm thinking about the same guy you are.
Yeah. At the count of three, let's say it at the same time.
Should we say it before we're on the clock?
2, 3. Najee Harris. No, you guys didn't say it, man.
I was going to say Brian Robinson.
Oh well.
I actually like Brian Robinson, so
yeah, I like him too.
I've said it on like almost every pod. I'm like I understand why a lot of people don't like him, but I'm not against the Brian Robinson.
There are two very good running back picks. 3 very good running back picks here. If we could go like running back here, there are 2 very good ones.
Well.
Well, I don't think we need to like. Here's the thing about Jaden Daniels is a lot of teams have already taken QB1, and I think we can wait on QB. I'd rather punt QB for a couple more rounds. There's a handful of guys who I think are going to be there. I really think we might be able to go running back here. There's a bunch of really interesting names in the queue. Please do not take the guy who's like on the top of our queue right now. I really want him on this format.
Yeah, I think Stroud just went. He's the only guy that I would probably would have tried to make a case for after we wrapped around the turn. But beyond that, I'm just hoping. I think that probably looking at running back here is the best option across the board. And I was not advocating for taking Brian Robinson here. Just to let you guys know.
Well, I was okay. Najee goes. One more. We have to fade one more pick, and it's there's like a bunch of interesting. Did you just rearrange the queue to make it how you want to see it, Blair?
I didn't not just now.
Yeah. Woo. This is Javonte Williams, dude. Come on. This is like an easy pick. This is Javonte.
Yeah. Now, are we at all worried that taking Javonte closes off some Jaleel McLaughlin avenues later?
No, it doesn't, because Jaleel's going so late, dude.
All right.
That's he just goes so late that I don't you don't mind having both of these guys on your roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with Hasan. I'm not opposed to having both those guys, and you never know with the Peyton history that we could at some point we could throw both of them in our lineups in the same week.
That's true.
We can go running back here, right? So let's just tell everyone who we've got. So we've got 3 running backs in the queue, right? I think Zamir White, this Fitzmagic guy, was going to take, right? So Jalen Warren, Raheem Mostert, and Chase Brown. Pick one.
Chase Brown.
Unless Chase Brown for you?
Yeah.
Unless you want to take Joe Burrow here. That's the only probably detour that I might consider.
I don't think Burrow makes sense on this team.
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
Warren would be my guy here. If I
Warren would be your guy?
Alone, yeah.
Warren would be my second pick, but I would prefer Brown, but I like Mostert too.
I would prefer Mostert, but it doesn't close off. At least to me, it still doesn't close off Jalen Wright. right?
Yeah, well, neither do Brown or Warren.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy to see people like we saw like Zamir White has such a wide range, man. God. Okay, so
Let's see. Both Chase Brown and Jalen Warren were in Sean's latest zero running back update.
yeah,
Warren was an addition. He did not make the original list, but he did make the
yeah,
update
because
that
his
Sean
like
just
ADP
released
has
today.
slid after because his ADP has slid after.
No, I don't
the
think
injury.
that's why. I think it was because he removed somebody else. I can't remember who now. Well, in any case,
Actually, here I have it pulled up on one of my other tabs. He took actually took off two guys close to the top, Algier and Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Hollywood Brown. Oh my God!
All right, we're on the
these
clock.
guys?
We're on the clock. Chase Brown, Warren, Mostert. I mean,
It's probably
Yeah.
Chase Brown for me as well.
Yeah, I can defer to the Chase Brown pick because of
you want Brown?
the hammy for Warren, and I mean just the Arthur Smith effects always just
Yeah.
makes me super nervous. Like it's like it almost seems like he would like do it out of spite just to piss people off.
He put Jalen Brown. He put Jalen Warren at number 3. He's got Chase Brown instead of number 2, and then he removed Tyler Algier and Zach Charbonnet. So I think we go Chase Brown, man. And he added some RJP Ryan, who we should probably also consider.
Definitely.
No,
So
Hank. He did not remove Jonathan Brooks. Gendre for who he replaced.
I
He
think
was doing it last year.
he's asking.
Brown
if Brooks
requires
is
too much. Oh, I just saw.
Brooks made your pick here.
I just saw Joe's comment. Brown requires too much faith for my tastes. Should have shown it last year if he was this value. Yeah, we went Chase. I mean, for me, it was like a toss up between Chase Brown v. Mostert. I'm hoping Mostert makes it back. I don't know, man. Like this feels like not a team that we typically make, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I think Hank was saying, is Brooks an option here?
And we don't have to like the big red NFI means he's just going to keep on sliding and sliding and sliding.
He is currently going end of the 8th round, so he doesn't make it back to us in most cases, but there's more of a chance of him getting back to us than
Well, there goes Mostert. So that's
Brown or Mostert or
so who is going to catch the Zamir White falling knife? I'm actually surprised that I know why Alexander Madison isn't making these 0 RB lists, but like realistically, he's kind of like your quintessential. You might want to take a peek for $1 or $2 type of guy. And we let 109 get stack Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase. They're probably doing backflips. They probably don't even have a stream. It's just like one like grown ass man doing backflips, and his wife might like be coming down to yell at him.
I think that's okay. All it does
in the
is
event that he might wake up the kid. Oh, is that just me?
The Kamara pick.
I mean, I'm still more above with Love. I take Love over Burrow 100 times out of 100 right now. So,
man, you guys are completely fucking what on Love over Burrow, dude. So I guess you're the kind of guy who like orders his steak well done. Like,
Can I get a double well done? Is that a thing? Like well done and then throw in the microwave?
1 year of evidence is all they need. Yeah, that's right,
It was
Joe.
a good year, though.
It was a good year, and again, like I've said, like the funniest thing about this entire Jordan Love thing, about making him so highly paid and everything else. Yeah, where were you on January 6th? Yeah, good question. Exactly. I mean, you guys all know I could not have been there on January 6th, 2021. They would have killed me, right? But these guys, good question. Okay, so like this Joshua Palmer bullshit, this is out of control. All right, so like Lad McHonky goes, right? And then instantly Joshua Palmer goes. Oh, I guess Justin Herbert. I don't know. Jonathan Brooks, honestly, like the way I'm thinking of him in this format is he actually makes sense for these robust RB teams because they don't need to worry about actually playing him, right? Like they're building their team to really only start 2 wide receivers, and they know they can wait on Jonathan Brooks. Otherwise, this doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, but like the guy also took Ramondre ahead of, Javonte. I actually think, like when you're looking at this board, I actually think Javonte was the best pick. Like just from a pure neutrality perspective, was the best pick of the 7th round, right? Like I would much rather, like outside of Aaron Jones, like I think Aaron Jones and Javonte are like the 2 guys who I would consider. But I think Aaron Jones is fairly priced, whereas we got a value on Javonte. I think Javonte and Aaron Jones should be going back to back. Is how I'd put it.
Yeah, I would much rather have Javonte than any of those other backs in the 7th round. So I'm happy you fell to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like I would.
Right. If it turned out that Brooks was gonna play sooner or something, then
not.
I think he becomes a lot more interesting. But
we know he's going to play earliest in the 6th week, and you cannot pencil him in for 18. Like, I mean, like, can you pencil him for 18 touches of the game, given that he hasn't even like practiced yet?
And even if you could, it would be touches in the Panthers offense. So
you know what is genuinely crazy to me is like Zamir White is still just chilling, right?
Yeah.
Man, which of you guys added Jordan Love? What is this?
I'm guilty at the end. And for the record, I'm definitely not a Joe Burrow hater. I'm just kind of starting to back off on him a little bit. I was the guy banging on the table saying like I think he can like have one of those 5,050 seasons last year, and I'm kind of coming around to the fact that I was probably wrong on that. So maybe I'm just tilting the scales too far in the opposite direction. But I mean, just to watch, he's like really is one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, I do like Burrow a lot.
I do really think that the funniest outcome would be Jordan Love throwing for 2,000 yards, man. Fully healthy. Like, I think that would be the funniest outcome this season. Just like, so actually, before we go any further down on this, right? I really, really want Romeo Doubs, man. Yeah, I feel like even if Brown is better than Moss, they're going to use Moss's 4x salary as validation. The good news, Joe, is that Moss is going, again, like to the point where you can actually play both of them in your lineup here. Because, again, there is like an offense where you expect there to be a lot of points being scored. Also, man, this 101 team is so good. Oh, my God. How are we going up against these people? Why are we going up against these people? Why couldn't we just
a nice way to build out from the 101?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if my favorite pick, but as like the wide receiver 5.
I mean, structurally he's fine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I take Jerome Ford, I might have actually taken Brian Robinson, but I can't really like fault him for it.
It really hurts. It's okay.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, where are you guys on Jaden Daniels versus Jordan Love? Oh, what is this team fucking doing? Team 2 just took Dak Prescott after taking Patrick Mahomes. They know this isn't like Superflex. Actually, I want to ask him that. I'm going to ask him that.
No, don't.
well, this chat has been like the exact opposite of last week's chat, man. Like that FFPC chat, that was like they had a bunch of characters in there. They're all excited, like they're all talking trash to each other. This guy is like maybe he's drinking like I don't know, like what is it? Colloids. Well, I can't pronounce it because it's like that silver thing, right?
That guy actually is in the chat.
Colloid, yeah, he's like drinking colloidal silver or something, and then he's taking like Dak Prescott after taking Patrick Mahomes. Right? Oh, nope. Well, this is a nice guy because I asked if we had any IT guys, and he said no, sir. So I don't know,
Yeah, this is a friendly chat.
Mm-hmm.
Had a guy take Burrow, Kyler in back-to-back picks this week. Yeah, I don't know what these people are doing, Joe. Have you seen Crack Rock fighting in chat? I have not. Historical anomalies. But if Crack Rock's ever fighting in chat again, tell him he has my sword because I will find a way into that draft. Just instantly finding a way in to get in on that action. Yeah, I don't understand why you take Dak Prescott in the 9th after taking Patrick Mahomes in the 5th, unless he is dying of mercury poisoning. We cannot rule this out.
There's no. That was the nice guy who said he is not.
Yeah,
he doesn't work in IT.
Yeah, he was helping us out. I feel so bad, man. I feel bad picking on him, but man, that's such a bad pick. Like, why are you picking Patrick Mahomes in the 5th if you think he's not going to work out? There goes Jordan Addison. This team 105, man. Like, why are we playing against these people?
105.
Like,
nice
why?
team.
Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why? Well, actually, why are they doing this to us? What have we done to him? God, this is some. Hubbard wanted to go face to face with him in an old-fashioned duel.
Daniels.
Here goes Daniels goes.
There goes Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, between Love and Daniels, I think I have them pretty close. I don't know that I necessarily would prefer Love over Daniels, but I think they're two of my favorite picks in kind of the QB window.
Yeah.
RQ kind of did get picks. RQ did get pretty wiped, although oh my God, this is going to be terrible. But what are your guys' takes on Cortland Sutton?
Nah.
I started taking him a little bit towards the end of the draft season. I know I didn't always feel great about it, but like I have so much Knicks stacked up with Mims and Franklin. Just from an exposure perspective, it's like, all right, well, let me just try this combo just in case, humility-based drafting. Just like, what if I am wrong? What if Sutton is still, I think he'll still be the number one target, but
I actually think Sutton is the best pick here on the board, though, even based on our build.
Well, disagree. But
who is it to you? Is it probably Caleb?
To me,
because I would take
if I'm just looking at the player I want to draft the most, who I think will give us the most points this season, it's Tajay Spears.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Spears wraps around, dude. I really don't think most of the FFPC drafters are that interested in. There goes Zach Moss. They must have been discussing this pick on the side because that's a good pick. It was also ordered.
Spears is currently going at 904. I don't think he wraps around.
And I think the drafter at 12 already has a quarterback. So I think if we take Spears here, we can. If we want to wrap around and grab Caleb, we can, or we can push quarterback. And
honestly, I'm kind of good with Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
Here, so I guess really the question is, right? Spears here is fine because I think to me there's like 3 picks: Sutton, Spears, Caleb, right?
Okay, to me the 3 picks are Spears, Caleb, Trey Benson,
and Trey Benson.
There's a name. There's a name.
There's a name that we've been talking about, right?
We agree on Spears at this pick, though. I mean, he's like a 6 or 7 pick value here. And he was my bold call to score 250 points this year. So I got to stand behind
I'm very into Tajay Spears, man.
All right, let's do it. Good with that, Kevin?
Yep.
So no interest in Sutton then, right? Because I think team 112. Oh man, our wide receivers are fucking ass, dude.
Come on. We just don't have any of them.
Is there like a way we could trade like our wideouts from that other team to this team?
Yes, I like this.
HN Light.
There we go.
Hey, Jalen Wright is HN Light. Exactly. I was just gonna say our boy Jalen Wright's right around the corner.
We could get both. Why not
both? So I guess really the question for us here is it's gonna be if this guy doesn't take a wide receiver, right? Like it's probably Benson.
There's a couple guys, wide receivers that I like late. That I'm not afraid to take either a running back or QB here. I think there's enough guys that are available late that have some upside that I'm 100% okay taking, especially in a format like this where,
So Trey Benson earlier than B-Rob, right? Is how I put it, right? Devin Singletary. Someone explain Singletary to me, guys. No one? Anyone?
No, can't explain it.
Yeah, Bueller? 1,000,000%. He's an RB1 on a terrible team. Volume, maybe. That's it. That's all I could say. I've been trying to pass him pretty much. I mean, I've taken him here and there, but never felt good about it.
Yeah, man. I think to me, like the picks here are either Sutton or Caleb, and maybe the pick is the quarterback.
I think that there are quarterback options later that compel me to not take Caleb. Yeah. So, but I also don't want Sutton. So I think I would probably be making the argument for Benson.
Yeah, and then we could probably make the right, or I guess cool it a little bit at wide, like running back.
Yeah, and then try and get some of our late targets. I mean, this is a little early for Benson, but he's not going to make it back around. And I know he's Hasan's guy, so I think we probably should get him.
Hey, he's Dave's guy. Dave wrote up the hot take on him. My hot take was going to be about Alvin Kamara just not being picked as like in the top 10 rounds next year.
We want to do Benson?
Yeah,
we can. I don't know who your quarterback targets are later, but I mean, I think
really I put one in private chat, but
honestly, Connor Light, Jalen Wright, showing enough. So just take Benson. I think
prefer Caleb?
Go for it.
No. I think Benson's fine.
We can go with Benson.
I like that.
I took Benson.
Yeah. I mean, I would go with some. You throw that one name in the chat. There's actually some other names that I.
Yeah, there are a few in that range.
I mean.
I don't know if you guys agree with that one, but the one I
mean, realistically, we're making contingency plans, right? Like, I wish all of you guys could see how like thrilling this is. It's just a bunch of grown men just writing around quarterback names.
And then we go silent and start typing.
Actually, I've gone silent because I'm watching USC play LSU. There's a very nice touchdown right here. I'm buying in the last 6 weeks of Connor hype. Connor going to take his annual IR trip. What I will, I guess, share with the chat is I was on USC first half under. I'm on the game total under 66, and I'm also on USC to cover the spread of 4 points. So a lot of action just because I'm a horrible fucking degenerate. Sorry for any kids who had to hear that. I promise. And there was a pretty nice touchdown here that USC just scored. It was just one of those typical, or just one of those classic wide receiver shugs off the cornerback, gets open, makes it behind, over the shoulder, back throw catch. And I'm just like, inside, I'm just like, there's like a because football is back type of motion. You're winning everything at the moment. Yeah, well, come back Sunday of like week 1 where I'm like completely destitute, homeless, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm selling the house.
You guys have a couch?
Does anybody have a couch? I did that check fraud thing to like put bets down, and I'm in deep trouble. I don't know if anyone saw this, but like on TikTok, apparently, like check kiting went kind of famous as like a infinite money glitch type thing, and now people are doing it, getting into major legal issues.
Yikes! I haven't heard of this.
Brian Robinson goes to the team that has Zach Moss. Yeah, man. So there are a bunch of guys. I'm really hoping they like ID themselves if they are in this chat, because I'd be upset if they didn't. That are putting together nice teams. How's the back doing? Thanks for asking. That's actually doing much better. It was a long road. It was a long road to get there. I do need to get back onto just sort of doing the exercise. I kind of slacked there, but just sort of. Just the ability to being able to actually walk again is kind of a big deal. Trust me, you don't know what you're missing till it's gone. So trying to never get back there again. If that makes sense. I do want to get everyone's take on Khalil Shakir here though, because like I feel like that's kind of early for him. Like I like 112 has a good team. But I don't like any of the players, like except for Devon, except for the first 3 picks, which are Jamar Gibbs, Dalton Kincaid, and Devonta Smith. Like everybody else on that team is not who I'd want.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually a mild value for Shakir. And you look at this team that's kind of building a Bills a Bills team stack, which is a little bit interesting. But
again, there's like 3 teams in this chat that are just in this draft that are just putting on a clinic. And Juice Crew is one of them, man. Well, there's 4 teams really. The Juice Crew is one of them at the 105, 107, 109, and 101 are putting on an absolute clinic. Well, 109 has made some kind of questionable picks, but 107 has some pretty nice picks. You can tell, like,
pretty good.
111. Let's see how we land. Let's see how 111 lands the plane, huh? Let's see how 111 lands the plane.
Not go very wrong for 111.
Things are very questionable, right? It's dicey. I believe one of their drafters has inserted Ezekiel Elliott at the top of the queue. This is very disturbing. And this active aggression will not stand.
And Gus Edwards, they're both up at the top of the queue. And
both of them are up at the top of the queue. Actually, if you did want to fade Gus Edwards, you could probably fade him. Like, I think what was he lined up at? I think it was 48.5. I don't have my phone. I can't find it. There's some interesting. So a guy who really has jumped the shark is Braylon Allen, huh?
Oh, no way. Braylon Allen will be a 4th round pick next year. and Breece Hall will still be going in the 1st.
The only I think that's right. That's right, Resif. I do think that the Juice Crew already has too much McBride, so they did have to like pivot off onto a Kelsey. Because, man, could you imagine that team right now with like McBride? I really am hoping they're somewhere in this stream, or they're like streaming somewhere, or we find out who they are, because that is like us, right? Like, that's like your RotoViz meets Ship Chasing meets whoever's like on that 0 RB spectrum for like ETR, man. Like, that is that is a team. There goes Dubs.
It's all right. The Green Bay receiver we want is still there anyway.
Well, there's like only one left.
Well, then that's the one.
Luke Musgrave? Come on now.
I thought we were talking about Samari Torrey, right?
I think he's not even on the team anymore, right?
Man, it sucks so much. Like, it's really unfair if Green Bay goes from Favre to Rodgers, and Love is also good. You know, it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Although for me personally, it's kind of funny because I always like it that Green Bay can never make it out of the first round. It's always like one of the best ways to start off the new year is like when Packers fans are just sort of howling, just whining in like those like spaces. I remember joining this like space that was like Aaron Rodgers' last game, his last playoff game, and it was like a disaster for like the Packers. I have a question. Is there a real chance Saquon is not part of the brotherly love or brotherly shove instead of Hurts? That's actually a very good question.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's So like, I agree with Resif there, if only because that's kind of how that play works.
Is the idea though that Saquon would be like taking a snap?
Yeah, like direct snap.
Yeah. Which he did do in New York sometimes, I think. I think they did some wildcat with him.
I think historical anomaly kind of says it, like taking a snap in the shotgun versus under center is considerably different.
True.
Nick Chubb is. He's kind of handcuffing a little bit, but like I don't mind. I hate that play for him.
Yeah. Chubb's definitely got some upside, although I saw somebody tweet out something that was kind of pessimistic about his outlook. Some Twitter doctor, maybe.
Yeah, I think I probably saw something similar, where it basically said he probably won't be back to his normal, like his old self, at least this year. But I think he's 29 now, so this year or ever. But actually, Colin and I, on our streams, we've taken probably 2 out of the last 3 because Colum's big on him, and they say Chubb has kind of prove people wrong his whole entire career. So I mean, that's something that you kind of don't always want to bet against.
Yeah.
Oof, man. Like, this is like actually kind of a fun little dichotomy here. Like J.K. Dobbins going right after like Gus Edwards. Like that. Like, that's a very fun dichotomy.
Neither are the running back you want, right?
Neither of them are well, I don't. There's a few guys on here that I'd really much rather have than anyone there.
I mean,
the
Chargers running back you want.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could name
Yes.
anybody else on the Chargers right now who plays running back dudes.
Hasan Haskins.
Hasan Haskins.
Yeah.
That's my alter ego.
They just signed him.
Really?
Right, and I'm sure
you
they're
might have to actually draft him.
talking about starting Quentin Johnston in the backfield for week 1 of the season. They just got to get him on the field because he's so explosive.
Yeah.
Is that an issue? He's explosive, guys. He is explosive. Juba Hubbard goes. So this is about where he's been going. So I guess this is where, yeah, that's the thing about like Hurt squatting more. Oh, the chance of Hurt going. Maybe spend this up, but Barkley just thought I had seemed smarter than me. Well, the other thing about like the one big thing is like I don't know. I guess what makes it difficult to me is like Saquon's already going at like late first, early second. Like I don't understand or would want to double count any brotherly shove kind of red zone or green zone or high value touch situation because you're already there goes Caleb. So like I think a lot of the TD upside for Saquon is kind of baked in. So I don't necessarily think you want to be double counting, even if he does turn into the guy who's actually getting all those. Oh, there goes T-Law. That's kind of painful.
That's a little bit early for him.
Yeah, Juice Crew back at it.
Ryan Thomas stack.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any representative in from the Juice Crew here, please reveal yourselves because God damn you.
Oh yeah, Jaleel. Ooh.
Anyway, so but to go back to what Copy was saying is that like even if Saquon takes over as the guy who is now going to be getting all that brotherly shove touches, right? I don't think you want to start double counting him into like as what? Like I don't think you want to be taking him at the 103 or 104, right? Because like he's already getting he's already appropriately priced, at least in my opinion, to where I don't think like any double counting here essentially makes it so that you're going to be giving him credit for something he might not necessarily be doing, right? Like I would still think that you'd kind of be okay with waiting it out on a Saquon perspective. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm kind of with you in that. Like I do think that he does have like elite. Bowers crippled this build, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so too. And I think Bowers has a foot issue, and he himself is a cripple. I'm not too worried about our quarterbacks because there are a handful. But yes, Bowers did. But anyway, but
what do you take instead of Bowers? You think we should have taken like Jaden Reed or Smith and Jigba or something,
or like Pickens, James Conner?
Yeah, we got Pickens on the other team.
Yeah, but maybe James.
We already
Conner and Javon. Anyway.
We're on the clock now, but I'm pretty happy with our running back group that we've been able to put
together.
I'm
actually kind of. I mean, we could probably take Jalen Wright. Do we take Jalen Wright?
I think here maybe Wright makes sense, and then we get wide receiver on the way back, one of these other two guys.
And that's kind of.
I think that makes sense.
All right.
And I don't know how you guys. I mean, obviously we see how the rest of the draft shakes out, but I mean, with these 5 running backs.
Well, there's one. There's one. We have 2 good wide. Yeah, but like we are messing around a little bit. Bowers requires top 10%. Yeah, probably.
I don't think it's that high.
I don't think it's that high. There is one quarterback though that we might be able to get away with, guys, and we all know who it is.
Oh yeah, Purdy just went to a team that already had a quarterback.
Yeah, so I think we might have to strongly consider quarterback here. I think we're about done running back, guys. I think we're about done running back.
I feel the same. But
RBs are a little too good. We're going to end up flexing them more than we want to. Yeah. That's
not a sentence I usually hear about my teams.
I think we might need to.
I mean, in the last draft we were in, the one guy drafted 4 quarterbacks, but like I said, pretty much everybody that only has one left is. I mean, I don't know if you want to consider Kyler an elite QB, but everybody else pretty much has elite guys. So
yeah,
they're still going to take him. They're still going to take them. Yeah. I think.
I'm tempted to push it.
Okay? All right. Okay.
I think the only
is that what you were saying, Kevin?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning into. I mean, with Richardson and his injury risk, there's always a chance that maybe like somebody might want a backup option. But I mean, I'm okay with pushing it, but it could get scary real quick.
Yeah, I think there's a chance Team 7 and Team 4 might take another QB. Those are the 2 teams that I'd kind of be looking at.
I didn't see 7.
But I just want to see. I mean, Team 6 doesn't need a QB, but they would be. I guess the other team would be probably not Team 3. Are there other guys later? Like
Team 3 doesn't have a quarterback, so they're going to take either 1 or 2 or Goff.
Are there other guys later that we're okay with? Yeah, they have Jordan Love. I thought you were making a joke.
Oh no, I'm not. There's no one else. I really rather. I think the kind of the buck stops at either 2 or
like
Goff.
You don't want Kirk Cousins. You don't want Geno Smith. You don't want Baker.
Nah, none of those guys.
You want to go Goff here?
Yeah,
I think I might.
Goff or Tua would be my.
I mean, our wide receivers suck shit, man. This is kind of sad. How did this happen?
All right, let's go Goff, and we'll get some high upside receivers.
Well,
there's
later if we can find them.
Well, there's a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm adding a fun sure.
Of course, we were at FFPC draft
last week. Last week we weren't going to consider either Leggett or Jalen McMillan, but guess what? Who's going to end up? Both of them are going to end up on this team somehow.
I don't hate it.
I kind of do.
I'm more on the McMillan train more so than the Leggett.
I mean,
train,
I'm kind of. I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm scared, man. I've never been in a situation at wide receiver before.
I'm gonna.
What? How did it come to this? Tie game at 47, at 147 left. That is right. How did we only end up with 4 wide receivers? Yeah, Bowers really ruined this team.
This is what you have to do when
he sunk the squad, dude. He sunk the squad.
Well, we're not going to be saying that at the end of the season when he's the tight end 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, tight end 1 of like being on the injury report, man. Have you seen a picture of that guy?
He's the same size as LaPorta.
Yeah, but he looks more like an accountant than Hunter Renfrow did. Dude, like, if you were to show me like a picture of Brock Bowers, right? Bowers with a demarcation line, good or bad. Yeah, I don't know. I still think, what does make it a little tough, at least for me, is that I still like this team a lot. We're definitely.
See, I think if we didn't take Bowers there, we would have taken Connor.
There goes Dontavian Wicks. But then we would have probably not taken Javonte, right? And Jays.
Maybe, we might have still taken Javonte, but then, like, what would we have given back one of these running back picks? Like, maybe instead of Benson, we take Courtland Sutton. I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, isn't this tournament insanely top heavy? Yeah, it is. James Conner could put up 30 points, but feels like a few other picks after him could. Yeah, that's like I think Javonte is one of those 30-point guys, right? And then Chase Brown, Tajay, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, man, what is kind of scary is these are a whole bunch of very after Javonte, this is kind of like a speculative-ish group, right? That's okay. That's okay.
A
little
bit. I mean, I think Spears and Brown both have standalone value, even if
Love
they're
and
not.
Richardson are very live to take Herbert. Yeah, Michael, I do agree with you. Like those teams might take him. I do feel better about having Goff on this team now a little bit. Jacob. So like, so both Judy and Wicks were in our queue.
I think it would have been one of those two guys who we took.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. I think I'm happier having Goff on this roster, frankly. Yeah. Just looking at a bunch of these guys. All I'm saying is we've got a whole lot of wide receivers in our queue right now.
And none of them
and we have a whole lot of wide receivers. Yeah, none of them are like this is like very much Cope season is happening.
It's a weird feeling.
Man, you know what's really weird though? Is I still can't stop not wanting to draft some of these running back, right? Like,
what do you think of
Goff opens up to you know what? Goff is going to have a 400-point season because Tim Patrick is there.
Tim Patrick over Khalif Raymond.
Wow, two absolute weapons. Those are two absolute weapons. I will say it would be nice to clean sweep this USC LSU game, but so like now our picks just like now our entire queue is getting wiped out because we had Jalen Polk in there too. But if only Tim Patrick could open up. You know, it is genuinely frustrating how good some of these other teams have drafted and it's kind of like crazy, like the dichotomy between last week's chaos draft versus what we're getting here, which is like a very much a structured assassination of what we're looking at. Like this is very much the Ectu Brute of us just getting murdered, man. We're getting murdered here. And there goes Tua Tagovailoa to the Jordan Love team.
Yeah. I mean, the more I look at things, though, I mean, this could just be confirmation bias and just trying to like justify our picks. But I mean, as far as having the 2 tight ends and the 4 good wide receivers,
but we need. Well, the issue is that we need Bowers to be good on this team. On the other team, we didn't.
Yeah, but even I mean. I would feel okay sliding. You know, we're probably not going to put Bowers in the flex every week, so he's almost like another wide receiver. If you feel like that Bowers' upside is equal to, like, I'd rather have Bowers over. I mean, Pickens is like a toss-up, but like as far as just like as a wide receiver, but like Godwin, I'd rather have him over Ridley. Deontay's a question.
Yeah. Deontay, I might rather have actually.
Yeah, I think if anything, Deontay may have been the pick there, but
Deontay's a tough one, right? Like, I mean, why is I don't understand. I mean, I understand wanting to handcuff your tight end with Isaiah Likely, but like also we've seen Isaiah Likely without when Mark Andrews has been out, and Isaiah Likely is also getting you 0 points. I don't understand that, right? Like, trust me, I had a really nice team actually with 2-4 offsuit from Ship Chasing Discord it was FFPC. Yeah, we did like an FFPC 125 best ball team, and we were doing like backflips because like we got squeezed at like tight end, and we had like Isaiah Likely and like a final pick, and we were like, oh man, Isaiah Likely, we might actually get tight end points. And guess what, guys? Guess what happened to us? Guess how that played out? Like, do you know how like soul crushing it was? And then like Lamar gets hurt, and that was like it. And we was like, whoa. I'm trying to find
this
like
is
the
Bateman's year. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Really intriguing prospect. He could have a year coming up.
Hey, do you actually want to talk to the people, the good people? So Isaiah Likely, right? After we were like completely eliminated, done and dusted. Against the Rams, he goes off. Against Jacksonville Jags, he goes off. Against Miami, he goes off. And against Pittsburgh, he goes off. right? He has like 20-ish points or whatever. But do you want to tell the good people that you fleeced me for like Rashad Bateman not too long ago? You made me give up a first-round pick in a basketball dynasty league we play for, and I got Rashad Bateman, and I was like, "Oh, you delightfully devilish dog, you!"
And you gave me a first-round pick.
I gave you a first-round pick.
Well, never trade away your first. That's the moral of the story.
My own co-host beat my ass, man, mercilessly. Like it was like the most.
Remember that?
You don't?
No.
I want to see who that pick actually became.
What league was this?
This is the Community United in Never Tanking League.
Okay.
Now you know. Now the reason he sounds like that.
Well, it could be. It could have been.
It's because he knows what he did to me.
Could have
and
been.
I'm looking at it right now.
Harrison. I had the 101 this year.
No. Because what you did, so you actually traded that pick to somebody else, and that pick for somebody else became Drake May.
Okay.
I think you traded out of that pick, and this guy got Drake May.
Well, look, Michael Ford says it's finally about to pay off for you. Do you still have Bateman on that team, or did you release him or something?
No, I think I still have him. I still have him. But do you know how like brutal it was to like have like to watch like a Baltimore Ravens fan trading away like Rashad Bateman only for a first, especially when everyone was like, Anyway, I think we have a very clear wide receiver pick here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guy that I prefer. Maybe. I mean,
the issue is like
I think it's a conversation.
Man, the issue here is that there's so many running backs that I just want to take, right? You have Khalil Herbert, who I want to take, Braylon Allen, who you want to consider. So, it's tough. It's a tough scene because like my brain is still wired on the running back stuff.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right,
Davis.
actually,
this has to be a trick question. Let's say Davis.
Davis,
who is older?
Rashard back. It's got to be Ray Davis, man. Ray Davis is like 30 years old, isn't he?
I think he's 25, right? Or 24. 24 or 25. He might already be 25. But Bateman could be 25 too.
Nope. I would say probably Ray Davis.
Ray Davis is 18 days older. We just got there. Yeah. All right. So who are
Allen
we?
would have been interesting. Not on this team, but
not on this team.
Okay.
Do we want who are you guys going to argue for? Because I have one guy who I'd like.
I think I don't have a strong preference here, so I'll defer to. Are you going to argue for the guy that's at the top of the queue, Hasan?
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna argue for Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
By ADP, he's the pick. The guy that I wanted, that I have an argument for, is a lot further down, so I think we can get him later.
Well, I mean, he's gonna come later. I mean, like, I see who you're like. You can just tell everyone who it is. There's a lot of teams that aren't gonna take him.
Yeah, I mean, Wandale's the guy that I actually think.
I mean, one delay. Yeah, of course I want Wandale, right? But like,
well, he'll have another pick in a few seconds.
Yeah, I think Adonai's the pick here. A lot of upside.
Well, I mean, Adonai is the pick here, like by far. I mean, like the real
Adonai
question for
is
you
the
guys
pick here. We just took him.
Yeah, yeah. The real question for you guys here is: do we want Jalen Tolbert, right, or Jalen McMillan?
So let's just see where these guys are going, because Wandale is early 16.
See, yeah, like I'm not worried.
McMillan is middle of the 15th. Tolbert is early 17. So like McMillan is probably the next guy. Mitchell we got at about a 6 or 7 pick discount, so that was nice. If you like Leggett, he's also middle of the 15th. And then also P. Ryan is middle of the 15th. I don't know if we need to consider him on this team.
No,
he's pretty interesting.
Yeah. P. Ryan is interesting. I mean, realistically, the question is, do we just go Justin Tucker again?
It's too early for Tucker. Even I think it's too early for Tucker.
It is too early. We do need more,
especially on this team. If we had more receivers, I could be tempted into Tucker.
Yeah,
But
we
I
don't.
think-
We can't. I think
this has got to be
either-
Leggett or McMillan.
All right.
I would
think
say
I agree.
McMillan.
McMillan.
Yeah,
I don't care. I think Leggett makes is like a better like upside play just from like lack of targets type of thing. But I'm ambivalent. Blair, you did all the work on this. You tell me.
I mean, I just don't think.
I don't
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
not
strong
judge-
preference.
Yeah, look.
All right, hang on. Let me go see what our rookie rankings were.
Sean did just write up McMillan, which has me kind of excited for him. Not just, but a week ago.
Yeah,
Fine.
and when I wrote up McMillan too, I just don't think he's an early season play. He's more of a stash and wait. And
We had Brill and Allen. I mean, sorry, we had Leggett at like the top of like that tier, and then McMillan like shortly after that. So
Yeah, but these are kind of old.
I know.
Mm.
I know.
All right.
McMillions. All right,
I prefer McMillan, so I'm gonna.
all right, let's go.
It's not that I don't. I could definitely see Leggett having a good season. Well, I mean, actually, it is kind of hard, but
It is very hard, dude. Did you see Bryce Young? He couldn't even fit in his helmet last year.
it's kind of hard to see him having a good season. But I want to, kind of be cognizant of the fact that I get a lot of these late wide receivers wrong.
Man, Joe is right, dude. Brock Bowers really sank this team. Well,
Brock Bowers is going to
we don't have to
carry
keep
this
hashing
team.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will on his like. I'm gonna Google this. Brock Bowers injury status. Right, injury update. Brock Bowers. Raiders coach shares latest on DE's Week 1 status. Blah 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 blah. The Week 1 status of Las Vegas Raiders 2024 first-round pick and tight end. That's a bad editing. Has been up in the air ever since he suffered a foot injury that has kept him sidelined from practice for the past 3 weeks. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I feel really good about that, to be honest. Pierce said of Bowers' chances of playing in Week 1. Just again, I'm going to go back to protecting the young guys. Sometimes you get in the league and you have to be smart. Sometimes you have to protect them from themselves. That's all that it is. So is that a yes or a no? Despite having second-year tight end Michael Mayer, who was drafted in the second round in 2023, the Raiders still went ahead and took Bowers in their first pick, number 13 overall in 2024. He should be an immediate contributor in Las Vegas' offense this coming season. Man, the saddest thing is when it's going to be Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers blocking for Alexander Madison. And 107 took Leggett. So, I mean, realistically, had we not taken Leggett, they would have taken McMillions. So, rock and hard place there.
Yeah,
I
neither
feel
of
like
them were
there's-
coming
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Crippled. Yeah. It is what it is. It is very funny though. Like last week we boxed ourselves out of getting any of these upside guys, and this week now we're just praying to get all these upside guys. Oh look, I hit the 3-peat there, so I got the first half under, game total under, and also USC. I did not have USC money line though. Life lesson there for us. What can I say, guys? I just hate making money sometimes, you know.
So what is your guys' feelings about is like upside plays versus, I'm not even saying like low floor, but like when I was saying like Wandale. I mean, since we're with
I want him on this.
Yeah,
I want Wandale on this team. I just think we can wait on him.
Yeah,
right. Like I don't think a lot. Actually, and I'm sorry to do this. We don't usually do this. Blair, by any chance you have the other draft board up in like another tab that we might be able to show?
Boom.
Wandale went in the 17th there too.
Yeah, 1702.
I'm
Right,
just
so
talking about just our picks moving forward. Are you guys looking for more upside guys, or do you think we need to try?
No, I think we can get the floor. We can get the floor. It's not an issue, right? Like it's not an issue. Like I just think that we can take him 16-2. It's not a problem. We can decouple from ADP. It's not a problem. They are here
Yeah.
doing God's work. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem reaching for him.
Wow, Brandon Aubrey over Justin Tucker. What a fucking play!
Aubrey's been going really early. I mean,
man, I just don't.
totally
I'm not.
get it, but I'm not really a kicker whisperer, even though I pretend to be. I play one on
I don't know,
TV.
man. I mean, looking at this guy's profile picture, I am not. Very questionable. very questionable. All I'm saying is, man, this guy looks like he thinks starter sauce is too spicy. You know. Aubrey said it.
He's
Yeah,
a professional soccer player.
Even more suspicious.
Oh,
You know what I
he
mean?
was drafted by Toronto FC and played for the club's reserve team, then switched to American football and played for the Birmingham Stallions of the USFL. He's a former soccer player, former USFL guy. Interesting. Okay.
But I mean, you look at this guy's picture, man. Like, he definitely has like taken a sip of like Perrier sparkling water and gone spicy water. Like this is
There we go.
multi-sport athletes.
Just take care of that hip, Aubrey. Take care of that hip. We don't need that bad boy popping out.
I don't know what these guys, the guy that 101 is doing. He's lost control of this draft a little bit. So, are you guys interested in all at Justin Herbert as QB2? Wow.
Blair says no. I'm not. I don't hate it, honestly.
The silence.
I don't know. Not on this team, I don't think.
I don't think. Well, I mean, it gets pretty gross, and gets grody pretty quick though.
I think that we might still want to be looking at some wide receiver picks because
so it's a bit like Justin Herbert and Matthew Stafford. So where do we want? I guess a real question: do we want a QB2?
Yeah, that is a question. We might be okay without getting one at all, but I'm not opposed to it.
Well, sure. I mean, the reason I'm bringing it up is because at some point you would think a guy who can deliver at least 18 to 19 points a game is better than someone who's going to be cut for a guy who can give you 17, 18 points a game, right?
Yeah.
Like
well,
I would.
No, I was saying. I just went in the Stat Explorer and checked out because I wasn't really sure how consistent Goff was, and Goff was only a QB1 41% of the time last year. QB2 53% of the time. So, I mean, I thought he was probably a little more consistent than that at the top end. So, I mean, I just based on that, the consistency's sake, I think that maybe getting a second guy would not be the worst thing. But then you have run into the problem of deciding who to start week to week, which could create a whole new can of worms.
I mean, Joe is right. The fun factor between rounds 1 through 8 versus the rest of the draft is immeasurable. Yeah, I mean, part of it is also, yes, but some of the fun from like 1 through 8, what actually makes the other rounds really, really fun is if the guys on stream just completely biff their draft, and then you just spend the other 12 rounds just shitting themselves on stream, because that man, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a few guys who get into the 2K Emmy drafts and then they just start shitting themselves, and it's like the most funniest thing that you'll ever see, because you're seeing them slowly realize very painfully that I had just punted 2K on dog shit.
So 105 is watching the stream, right?
They gotta be. Oh, that's all right. I mean, but not so much even like my question was about Wandale, but my question was more like just as like an aggregate sort of like question is like, do we want to look for some guys that might have some, like, I think Tolbert would be a good one because he looks to have like a defined role like at the beginning of the season, like is where Adonai Mitchell and McMillan are more of like later season plays. Like I guess Adonai Mitchell probably will have a role like right off the gate, but
Actually, Joe, I think 105 might be camping on the stream because that's pretty early for Wandale.
We don't know for
I don't
sure.
know. Yeah, we don't know for sure.
They could just be really smart. Like Joe was saying. Yeah, I do not think that Tolbert is a bad pick for sure. I like Tolbert. And you know, in terms of like upside guys who we could take here, it's also there aren't a lot of them. So I think
I'd say
Tolbert makes
Mims
sense.
has Mims kind of been confirmed now as the wide receiver 2 there in Denver. I mean, he's another guy that's
right.
I mean, the wide receiver 2 is probably Javonte. The wide receiver 2 is probably Javonte, if we're being honest.
there, Jaleel, yeah.
I think we could probably get both of them. Tolbert's going. I mean, they're both going in the 17th, so I'm not necessarily worried. Of course, so was Wandale. So if we want to do like Tolbert Mims here, Tolbert's going a little bit earlier.
Yeah, like Malik Washington.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
I do like Malik Washington as well.
Yeah, I feel like he could definitely something we could definitely get a little later.
Right. Yeah, in fact, yeah, he's 18-12. So we like Tolbert here. Is that kind of the consensus?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right. So yeah, I mean, we've got a bunch of people who are pretty interesting still coming up. You know, at this point, like a lot of different people are pretty interesting. But will they do anything?
No, that's why I was bringing up quarterback too, right?
Yeah.
Like I think you lock in the guaranteed points and not worry too much about that, right? Like,
I guess the only issue, kind of, I think Kevin made this point after talking about how consistent Goff was, is that it's actually kind of hard to tell when you want to be starting Goff versus someone else. Because, I mean, like, yeah, he wasn't that consistent, but it didn't necessarily correlate to who they were playing, to, like, their opponent. You know, he puts up 13.5 against Green Bay in week 4 and then 27.5 against Green Bay in week 12. So
I think realistically it's more so. Well, actually, if we want to go back to analyzing this draft a little bit, Game 107 took Alexander Madison is someone who I've been talking about quite a bit. Again, like I said, much better risk-adjusted bet than Zamir White. Team 112 just took Samaje Perine. These are guys who we locked ourselves out of, right? Although you guys, we didn't like Madison went undrafted in our previous draft, and you guys keep like banning me for wanting to take him. You keep saying like just awful fucking names, guys like Rasheen Ali and shit, right? Like I really think like week 1, like if this comes out to like a 60-40 touch share with Madison on the 40% side, right? Like his actual value is going to be like he's going to be a $300, $360 bid, like come the next week. I think you really would rather have that locked in on that other team, which makes more sense because there are guaranteed touches. Anyway, we should probably just take Marvin Mims here.
So, I mean, Herbert's the guy by ADP, but if you think we're okay pushing the QB decision and just keep hammering wide receiver, then I'm definitely happy with Mims.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, my thought on Madison is if he gets a 40% touch share in week 1, it's probably going to be down to 10% by week 5. So they're going to see what they have. I just think he's just kind of dust at this point. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of juice to start with.
Season with more carries, Madison or Brock Bowers?
Who finishes with more points this season? Probably Bowers, but like
more carries. I said.
More carries. Probably Madison.
I don't know.
I think so. I'm telling you, dude. Like the big thing is, I just think Zamir White gets cucked by Madison midseason.
I think
that's the story.
With Madison is that he just has never been that good in the NFL.
Yes, but we're also not drafting him in the 4th round like people were last year.
Well, that's true.
Right. That's their issue. That's not an us issue. That's a them issue.
I just don't think his kind of position on
Man,
the depth chart is secure.
Deshaun
is what
Watson
I'm
and
saying.
Baker Mayfield. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. But they don't really have anybody else, don't they? Anyway,
they have Lauby obviously, but
yeah. Oh yeah, but stock down, dude. Like stock
they
down.
might also have somebody waiting in the wings that we haven't even heard of.
Yeah, that's
who might be better than Madison, honestly.
That's true. Anyway, but Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield going earlier than Justin Herbert. There is a team that has taken 3 quarterbacks, which is just, I think that's pretty bad. So team 107, if you are sitting in the chat, good job. You fucked up one time. Kind of dumb.
Do they still have Amir Abdullah?
They do still have Amir. Oh, that's not team 107. It's team 106. Team 106 has Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Matthew Stafford.
Interesting.
I would have done that. Justin Herbert down bad. Guess guy took Baker to pair with Evans. I don't think I would have done that. There goes team 107. If you're there in the chat, fuck you guys, because that's a good team, man. Like they took Leggett, they took Madison. They heard me talking about him. Obviously, they were like, "Yeah, that guy made some good points." And then Justin Herbert, man, God, good picks. If we do want a quarterback too, Aaron Rodgers is still out there.
You got some options.
Yeah. Bo Nix.
Yeah.
All right.
Took him on the last team.
Geno Smith.
Fields, Pittsburgh's week 2 starter.
I don't think he's going to start, man.
So who do you guys absolutely not want? Because Juice Crew's coming up, and I don't want to get juiced again. But so just throw out the worst names possible for them and see if
Will Levis still.
Yeah,
on the
Will
board?
Levis is.
Will Levis.
He's
come on, guys.
Really interesting pairing with Tajay Spears.
That's right. Man, that sounds so sad, dude. Because oh man. Okay, so like, okay, one of you guys explain to me why
Pittsburgh team defense.
Pittsburgh team defense. Any interest in Juwan Johnson?
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit, right?
I've been on him pretty much all off season except for when he got hurt.
Even when he got hurt, I actually kind of doubled down at a much lower price, right? Like,
yeah.
He's because like I feel Juwan feels like your bailout tight end, and there goes Yoshi.
Oh, okay, never mind. They're not watching the stream. But they came in our queue.
They're in our queue, dude. I was saying they came to play. No, but what I was gonna say about because Juwan Johnson feels like that bailout tight end all off season, right? It's been a tough. I don't know if it's been a tough. That's not the right word. Tough isn't the right word. It's been a long off season. I'm happy it's coming to an end. Just from the perspective of I think it's now time that we actually start enough hypotheticals. Everyone has made their own beds. It's time to start figuring out where we lie in them, right? And although the one thing I will say about Team 105 is they're playing with fire at running back. Like that is a team that needs Jalen Warren to actually be a true thing.
Well, they have Bijan too. You can't see it on this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I mean they do have Bijan. I forgot about that. It's so unfair when you're able to do that, man.
Yeah, can't.
Because their week 1 starters are probably Bijan and Jaleel. Or has Jalen Warren not been officially ruled out yet?
I don't think he's been ruled out yet. But that's just, I don't know. I was kind of talking with you guys. I know it's not a real thing, but I mean, it seems like pretty much every draft that I'm in on the FFPC lately, I'm getting pick 8 through 12. So I think they need to go into their server and blow it out like a Nintendo cartridge and kind of just kick it and shake it up a little bit, because I just cannot get anything above 108.
So no one has it. So can someone make a bull argument for Dalvin Cook? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you can make a bear argument for every other Cowboys running back.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't. Yeah,
Uh-oh,
but
your
like,
sound's
but
off.
like. Sorry.
You're out of sync.
Oh yeah, that's just. I don't even know why that's happening anymore. Who's here? Who just wrote here?
Yes,
Which team are
we
you?
are
Identify
here.
yourself.
78 here.
Here.
Let's see. I think I saw. Did I see somebody with that name in the league home?
Maybe.
Mm.
Nope,
It's
I
so
don't know.
fun. Oh, are you? So I guess you want to ask him straight up if he's. Are you drafting with us, bro?
Who are you?
Who are you? AL Boogie.
Am I looking at the wrong thing?
No.
Not
What team
not
are
in
you?
your
Said
draft.
he's not in our draft.
You're not in our draft. That's all good,
Oh.
man. Sean Ben kind of like Cook. Essentially, they're less convinced he's washed than someone. Yeah, so like I don't think Dalvin Cook is as washed as Zeke, right? And I think Rico Dowdle is also kind of not it. I mean, like just came back from a party.
Not bad.
What a mensch. There goes Greg George. I don't know, man. Like half these guys are in our queues. Khalil Herbert got drafted, right? Yeah, he did much earlier than I thought. Man, so what was that one period in draft season? It was like what, May or something, where Roshan Johnson was going earlier than Herbert. That made no sense, man. And before Vaughn is the guy in Dallas. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I thought Cook was a fine signing. I think again he's a guy who I don't know if you want to take a peek at him, especially if there's other viable players, but like I don't know. Dynasty probably I would probably consider him. Yeah, there's some who added Deami Brown to this queue?
Guilty over here.
Oh man,
Old school
can
favorite.
Can you actually just explain? Well, explain it, right? Like
It's more of just the melding between. Well, he's supposed to be the wide receiver 2 right now. They're playing on the outside, and it's more just the melding between Daniels' deep ball and him. Just basically is a solely deep threat. It's not much different than Mims. You know, the Mims bet, just kind of a guy that's been in the league a few years longer and hasn't really done anything. So it's 100% upper play.
I don't
He's
think
been getting some camp
someone
buzz,
just
right?
added. Well, someone just added Will Shipley back to the queue. I don't know if we need another running back.
Taking him out. Yeah, we only have 5.
Well, we do. We might need a 6th. But hey, we need a defense. We need a kicker. And we need 2 skill guys, right? And if maybe one of the 2 skill guys is a quarterback, there goes Rodgers. So that's fine. Did that team have 2 quarter? Like that the team's 3rd quarterback?
No, just Stroud.
Just Stroud.
Stroud and Rodgers.
Good pick.
You're out on the guy I just added.
Which guy do you say?
Well, actually,
I'm not out on any of these guys. Well, except for Fields. I'm out in Fields, but like
that's who I meant.
I
mean,
the
he's
issue
not
with
going to get
Fields,
drafted.
Yeah, he's just not going to get drafted. And trust me, like Tomlin's very set in his ways, man. Like I would not expect to see Russ not play for a while.
Yeah. Deami Brown going in the 19th.
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about none of our wide receiver picks we should be worried about. I'm thinking
Shipley in the middle of the 16th, so I think he's a pretty good value here. If he makes it.
I think Shipley might be a good value.
You like Shipley, Kevin?
Yeah. It's probably one of my most owned guys this offseason, so I'm okay with that.
Is there someone
one
else?
Of you guys, can one of you guys pick a kicker as well on the way back? Because we need to get that out of the way. There's 2 good ones in the queue right now. Yeah. Just pick one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's take Shipley, and then we'll get one of these 2 kickers.
Well, I mean, the guys at the end is not going to take them. The kickers we're trying to choose between are like Butker or Cammy Fairbairn. I'm thinking Fairbairn might actually be a good pick.
I think you got to go with the Kansas City guy.
Take a look with that's the other
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Take a look with future, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go with the
doesn't play-
Thursday game.
Yeah.
And then the only thing is we might not get AJ Brown coming back in the 19th.
I don't.
So we
And
do
that's
need to
fine.
kind of. Did Troy Franklin get picked, or did you take him out of the queue?
I took him out of the queue because I just don't think it makes much sense to have like a team that's like 20% Denver Broncos. I think we made our bet with Mims. I think it was Mims or Franklin, and I don't think I'm that interested in Franklin. So now that we have Mims,
This guy takes a kicker. I might actually argue for Diami.
okay, that I can buy that. But
If
then
he
we're gonna
takes-
lose all.
If he takes
But then-
Butker, that is.
If he takes Bucker,
Yeah.
also
if he takes
Jake Elliott
Fairbairn, I'll still. Yeah.
and
All
Packers'
right.
new kicker is
Nervous.
Narvison.
Yeah. I'd be okay with him too. He's going later though.
I mean, realistically, it's just what I do hate is how long some of these guys on the edge take, right? Because you had like all day to think through this, like the fact that you're taking.
Maybe they have like 3 people
There you
in
go.
their stream too that are arguing.
Yeah.
Ahead of, I think I might actually consider Juwan Johnson ahead of AJ Brown or Jalen Hyatt.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, do you want to go kicker here, or you want to
Or do we close out with
do
like,
something else?
Yeah, I do kind of agree with Hasan as far as like I would probably take Juwan Johnson over any of those wide receivers, but it's more, do you guys want the kicker now, or you want to?
No, I think Juwan might actually make the most sense. Like I think I would
I'm
much
good with
rather
that.
have Juwan than like Ertz or Chig or Colby. Well, Colby Parkinson we all like, but like
He's
Gesicki I'd rather, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm good with that. I think there are kickers later who are good.
Yeah.
No. I just meant like I think Juwan should have gone earlier than Ertz
Oh,
I
or
agree.
Chig,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
Yeah, I'd take him pretty much. I think he's all the way up through like over. I'd probably take him over Fant and Otten. I mean, they all went in like the 15th. So
Based on the 20th. No, so like
PC
now we just
defense
talk.
would have been interesting.
Like,
yeah,
well, but this is it, right? Because like now we need to go kicker defense, and that's it. Like, Juwan should be going 4 rounds earlier, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Juwan also is like a pretty solid stopgap, right? Like I'd much rather have Juwan Johnson than Zach Ertz or Greg Dulcich or Chig Okonkwo, probably even Colby Parkinson, definitely over Mike Gesicki, definitely over Jonnu Smith, definitely over Noah Fant, definitely like he should be going in that. Definitely over Isaiah Likely, definitely over like Hunter Henry, maybe. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like let me just see if he's ready to play.
yeah, he's been back at camp for at least a week or 2 now.
Yeah, like I mean, realistically,
There's Fairbairn. Nice thing about Fairbairn is he has the week 14 bye, so you don't have to worry about.
yeah, you just sort of play him. That's that. Like that's that. He becomes like your guy.
Don't have to
But
start
like,
him.
yeah. There goes Gino.
Even with Johnson, I mean, he's the converted wide receiver. He just gives like the Darren Waller vibes almost. You know, not to say he's going to reach that level of.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a really good point. It's like Philly's still in the middle of the kicker battle, right? Or no, they cut down, right? Hang on.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check to see how many kickers they're carrying. Give me a sec.
I mean, is it not just Elliott?
Checking right now.
Kind of crazy that Butker hasn't gone yet.
I mean, there's been a few of those moments where no one, like, there's been a handful of guys. Hang on. Let me see. Where is the kicker? Yeah, it's Jake Elliott. What do you know? Yeah, it's just Elliott. Joe, I must have misunderstood what you wrote. Sorry. QJ goes, right? So, like, I'd rather have, like, I definitely would much rather have Juwan Johnson than Jermaine Burton, Jahan Dotson, Okay, who is Jordan Whittington?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the next Puka Nacua, right?
Right.
On the Rams.
He had a good preseason, I think, or a good camp, and now he's getting a little bit of hype.
UTEP guy, a guy from UTEP at Reds.
Puka Light, right?
Mm.
And I mean, Puka is currently hurt. Cup coming off a pretty serious injury, and also kind of old. Who knows? Oh man, I can't believe we're about to gift Team 5 Harrison Butker.
Yep.
The 19th. I mean, I can't. For one thing, I can't believe I'm getting upset about kicker picks. But
I'm actually kind of happy with like Jake Elliott.
I'm definitely happy with Elliott. I'm happy with Narvison. I'm happy with even probably a bunch of other guys.
I've gotten so far away from playing in teams with kickers and in defenses. Half these names, like Narvison, I'm like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
What I do like though about middle picks allow for all the value if you have the patience. Yeah. What I do like, team 1 to 5 obviously was going to take Gerald Everett.
It would be nice to get a pick in the middle ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope to have one day. Instead of a pick in the back third.
This website's rigged against us, man. Every time we do these drafts on stream, we have to like fight. You know what? But like hopefully it makes for some good entertainment. Because realistically, what is entertaining to me is, again, like I was saying earlier, was when you see the guys put down 2K, stream one of these drafts, get the back slot, and then just get completely destroyed. Like just get fucking like turned inside out. Yeah, having a top. Yeah, exactly. Joe, they're like, I think what FFPC did was they went through everyone who's subscribed to the RotoViz channel and has decided to like ban us from the top picks.
Well, it's like a handicap in golf.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, like, but it is funny watching some of these guys with like lots of subs and everything else, like going to the FFPC drafts and just get their holes turned inside out, right? Because you just see, because you see their faces change, like the entire demeanor changes, like the entire stream kind of goes quiet because it's just them, and like they're always like not really able to give much analysis. Because like they're slowly watching all these good picks just get go, and it's just man, like that's where the value is, but after the first 8 rounds is when you watch these streamers just sort of lose the plot entirely. I mean, this entire team lost the plot, starting from Buck Bowers, but I think we've done this enough to where we can't really panic, but like watching other guys panic in real time is actually kind of fun. I need to get more of those Schadenfreude streams in. So if anyone can find them and just tweet them at me, because man, I'd love to just be in the chat saying, man, this is like not going to work out for you, huh? Because it is funny because like they can see it. Carson Dicker. Do we go defense first? Yeah, the entirety of this build is success on Bowers is back. And guess what? The only way we'll know if Bowers is going to succeed is if his foot is okay.
I don't think it really makes a big difference.
I mean, the team at the turn already has their defense, so if we have a preference on kicker, we should probably take him first.
Yeah, right.
I might prefer Jake Elliott.
Okay. They both play on Friday, so they're both take a peek, guys.
The Dealcast had a great stream where they panic drafted Caleb Williams in like the 8th round because they're terrified of not getting this stack.
We don't have a pick.
You don't have a pick. Do you want, like?
I guess let's just take Narvison.
Arvidsson, sure. Yeah, see, Recife gets it, man. The Gilcast had a great stream where they panic drafted like Caleb Williams in the 8th because they were terrified not getting the stack. Was a good one. Yeah, see, it's fun, man. like, it's fun sometimes, you know. Gilcast is all panic. Yeah, it's like all time stress all the time. It's great. It's tremendous. But what again? Evan McPherson. We got to take a defense. Dang.
So, I've got Green Bay and Philadelphia in the queue for the take a peek reasons, and if one of them is good, they both kind of have decent week 2 matchups.
I kind of like Philly.
Green Bay is at home against Indianapolis.
Oh, I don't know.
Philadelphia, you don't like that one?
No, Philadelphia versus
Philadelphia at home against Atlanta.
I prefer Philly to Atlanta, man.
Yeah, I take Philly too. I like the way that they're building out that defense with all those young Georgia guys. There's a good chance they could, basically they spend a ton of young picks between their line and.
I guess there might have been some value to stacking Narvison and Green Bay defense, but
I don't think so.
Probably not that much.
I think they're inversely correlated.
In best ball, they're not.
No, yeah, but I was just saying
from formats when that have had kicker and defense, which obviously is not very popular anymore.
Well, they got to bring that shit back, man. That's like a real edge.
Years ago, when I last looked at it, but actually stacking kicker and defense was a strategy that seemed to be.
It did work out.
Popular and plus EV.
But from like a Philly perspective, like you got this because we can't stream these, right? I think of from like this perspective of like we don't know if Kirk Cousins is all right yet, right?
Yeah.
And you could be getting him throwing ducks. Or Penix. You might see Penix. I think
look week 3, Philadelphia at New Orleans, which is also pretty nice.
That's a pretty nice one too.
Of course, Green Bay is at Tennessee, which is also nice.
Yeah, right. You say that now, and then Tajay Spears puts up a 50 burger on him.
Green Bay home against Minnesota in week 4. That's a nice one. Philadelphia on the road at Tampa Bay. And Philadelphia is a bye in week 5, which is maybe the only bad thing about taking Philadelphia is that they have that.
Yeah, but then you just.
But by then, we probably will have dropped them.
Yeah, but by then we would also probably hopefully be 5-0, 4-0.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think again to Joe's point, this entire build is contingent on Bowers actually being a good pick. But I do think the Eagles draft goes along with your love fade, bro. Trust me. That would be the top 1 funniest thing this season is if Love just throws for 2,800 yards and like 30 picks, like 3 touchdowns. It would be so funny because you've got like all these guys being drafted highly and I know it's just a very unlikely. This is like a 5% or less outcome. But man, just imagine how like the blood would drain from your face. And just like if you're a Packers fan, you'd be sitting in Green Bay, just like, oh no. It would be very much like how Patriots fans were like all in on Mac Jones, and all of a sudden they were like, oh no. Could you imagine? Oh, I love those moments, man. But yeah, right. Man, this is it. The last pick, last Sunday without football. Do you guys have anything to say to the people, or like Kevin? You haven't talked enough. Read off our team.
All right, so you go. So at quarterback, we got Jared Goff. At running back, Javonte Williams, Chase Brown, Tajay Spears, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, and Will Shipley. Wide receiver, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Brandon Ayuk, Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Tolbert, Marvin Mims. Tight end, Sam LaPorta and Brock Bowers, Anjuwan Johnson. Kicker, Braden Narvison. And defense, we got Philly. So
there you go.
Feels like it's been a long time since we started that draft. I forgot that we had AJ Brown on this roster.
Yeah, this was a long one. Yeah, a lot of take a peek, guys. I mean, I know we've been talking about Bowers as kind of a linchpin of this draft, but I really think that we're strong enough elsewhere that if he has a slow start, we can still be okay. So, is this tourney going to overlay? Good question.
That's a
For a
good
long time,
question.
it
I
looked
think
like it was, and I still think it probably will. But
it probably will. Which, I mean, again, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to say go out and like jam a whole bunch of additional managed leagues in. But like, if you can get an additional team or two in, there is still some magic to actually redraft, I think. At least I still enjoy the waiver process, at least in FFPC, the mid stakes and the high stakes stuff. There's game theory in play. There's a lot of thought that actually has to be involved more so than your typical home leagues.
it's arguably easier to win a managed league than a best ball.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean,
people give up about halfway through.
Yeah, but also the thing with like best ball is like, man, look at like half the monkey picks on like DK, and all you need to know about that is when you start getting into the actual playoffs and you start seeing the pod structures, and you just look at some of these like teams that show up, and you're like, good God, like how is their ninth round my third round pick? Or like, I mean, that's extreme, but like how is their ninth round pick someone, I had to take in the fourth or the fifth? That's actually very real, right? You get these like just out of whack, like unfair pods that you have to deal with, right? Like, and it's just such a kick. At least over here, there's still so many outs for how soft it is. I think that there's still value in that, or like there's fun in that, the human error versus like the optimization, right? Because like the biggest errors you can make in like best ball is just not figuring out how to adequately pick your spread, your 16th to 18th round picks, which again there's a whole strategy in it to itself, and conversations and happen. But like I think there's still value in like items like this, right? Like at least that's just my own personal feeling. But the human error stuff, I do think the one thing I do like about having Juwan Johnson on this team is he does provide covering fire while Brock Bowers gets the CPA or whatever it is that he's doing right now. That's the thing. Looks like a Bowers leads D's and catches. Yeah, maybe. Or he leads correcting the accounts payables. I don't know. That guy I just cannot get over like how much he looks like a dork, dude. Like, how is this guy like, because I think Brock Bowers genuinely, when you watch him play football, like when you watched him play football back when he was healthy in Georgia, was this frightening guy who you just could not stop getting over that. Like, you don't want to be like why would you try and stop him if you're a quarterback? Why not just run and make sure? Yes, 90% of my take is from that one from Gronkowski. Yes, this is 90%, dude. It's like 99%, dude. And it's unfair because he's going up against like one of the alpha Ds, right? But like, and like Bowers when he's in uniform, like and was playing for Georgia, is such a freak. Like you could try to tackle him, you were just like. They were like cornerbacks who would get on him and he would just run away with them on his back. It's like God, what a grown ass man. And you see that picture of him and Gronk, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is good. Juwan Johnson, I am very excited about. Like, I don't understand. Like I know he got injured, then everything else happened, and now he's just free. I don't know.
Is there, I mean, are people concerned that like, what's his name? That quarterback who is also tight end? Yeah. Is there concern that he's actually going to be kind of involved or anything?
They're saying it again, and they do it every offseason. He was kind of involved last year, right? But like, I think for our purposes, since he's like listed as a quarterback, we don't need to worry about him breaking the game.
Yeah. I mean, he's a tight end on like I think NFL.com and Yahoo, but at the same time, like even though he's listed as like a quarterback / tight end, he doesn't play like a tight end. Like I'm not worried too much about him.
He shouldn't be on. He shouldn't be on Yahoo, right? Yeah. Like the where he is positionally on the roster should set where he should be. Like Sleeper and Yahoo, I think, are offsides in this one. whereas FFPC and NFL and everybody else
everyone
has
is. He should be listed as a running back.
Mm. But I'm saying his role isn't that of a tight end either. So
but the Saints have listed him as a quarterback, and because he's a quarterback on their roster, that's where he should be only allowed to slot in over here.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think the platforms that are just going against how the team has him positioned are offsides is my point.
Yeah.
I also think that like if you're part of the Taysom Hill meme shit, like what else do you guys find funny? The I like turtles kids. Like, come on, guys! Like, fucking grow up! Like, what are some of the other like old, long gone memes? I don't know, man. But Taysom Hill feels like one of those. It just feels like a very shameful time in fantasy football to be touting tape. It just feels like the wrong side of history to be like if you ever touted like Taysom Hill. It just feels like you're just on the wrong side of history, man.
I can get down with that. Are there other teams? We've been talking about Team 5 a lot. They look good. Are there other teams that you're worried about in this draft of kind of competing with us for the top seed come playoff time?
107. Why do I hate turtles? I don't.
For the listeners,
actually. His historical anomalies might be too young to remember this, but there was a time on the internet back at the start of YouTube where there was this one kid with his face painted, and it was like a meme called "I hate turtles," and I'm gonna see if I can find it for him. You guys keep giving out cogent analysis.
I also maybe am too young for this one, but in any case,
I think I might be too old for all these. Anything that Hasan's talking about.
Let's see. Team 7 started Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Devon Achane, Evan Ingram, Zay Flowers, James Conner, Brian Thomas, Joshua Palmer, Blake Corum, Austin Eckler. They got Trevor Lawrence in the 11th. They took Judy in the 12th when we were about to take him. Hunter Henry probably in the 13th isn't where I would have gone, but all in all, this team looks pretty good. They also grab Xavier Legette, Madison, Justin Herbert to round out their QB room, and some other guys that they'll probably cut soon enough.
We didn't really talk about Team 3 at all, but I mean, through round 9, I mean, I think their team is pretty stacked. They kind of went off the rails after that, where I don't really feel great about their team. I mean, they drafted 2 defenses, but like, I mean, through round 9, their team was looking pretty mean.
So this team is Breece Hall, Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors, Kenneth Walker, George Kittle, Jaden Reed, Aaron Jones, Jamison Williams, Jordan Love, Curtis Samuel, J.K. Dobbins, Tua, Michael Wilson, Brandon Aubrey in the 14th. Maybe not the right pick,
but it just sort of like falls apart at the back end.
Yeah,
it does. Like the Curtis Samuel pick doesn't maybe make a ton of sense. The
Dobbins
pick, okay.
Michael Wilson.
Tua, you probably didn't need to go there just yet. You know, this team, I mean, you know, they did kind of this balanced start thing where they get a few early receivers, a few early running backs. They get George Kittle. They've got the elite onesies. I do like the way this started. Yeah, I don't exactly know what, like, I don't want to say necessarily that a team is bad because I disagree with their player takes, because that's the thing that I'm probably most likely to be wrong about. But that's kind of how I feel about this team.
Yeah. That's probably when the sauce started kicking in. They're feeling good, and then they just got to get a little bit get loose juice, and then they just started getting wild with it.
Yeah. Team 1 also had a pretty nice start.
This team fell apart pretty quick, man.
Right? It looked promising. They had McCaffrey, Mark Andrews, Nico Collins, Jalen Hurts, McLaurin, Smith and Jigba, Odunze, Christian Watson, and then they go 4 straight running backs, and then these 2 tight ends sandwich
Isaiah Likely,
Kirk Cousins,
Kate Otten, Dallas defense. Malik
I would say
Washington.
up until the 13th when they started to do this tight end thing with Kirk Cousins.
The second they went like Isaiah Likely, Kirk Cousins, Kate Otten, it sort of fell apart.
plus Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb as your running back 2 and
I
running back 3
think
is
that's
maybe
fine.
not. You think
I think
so?
that's fine, but like to Russ's point, handcuffing Mark Andrews is like unconscionable, man.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I understand both Ford and Chubb on some teams. I don't know if I would do it when they're your second and third running backs taken.
I don't know.
Maybe it's fine.
Maybe that works out.
I guess
but yeah,
Team 12 is
I
actually kind of interesting too, except for the
again, but like I think Team 12 what makes them good is that like their structure is sound. I don't like their players.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That's how it always goes.
I think Team 9 was kind of nice. Is nice with it. Team 107, Team 105, obviously. Yeah, you just know he was hoping to. Yeah.
Team 105 that we've been talking about for a long time for the listeners: Bijan Robinson, Travis Kelce, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Deontay Johnson, Kyler Murray, Jalen Warren, Jordan Addison, Charbonnet, McLaughlin, Jalen Polk, Marshawn Lloyd, Sinnott, Wandale, Yoshivas, Cam Akers, Geno Smith, Butker, Atlanta defense. I mean, honestly,
that's good, man. Like,
I like all these players. I like the structure.
And I like the structure. This
is a team I would draft if you sub McBride
fuck them,
for Kelce.
Man. Fuck them. Like, that is such a good team.
Uh-huh.
Like, fuck, man. Yeah, and I think Rest have said this earlier. They might have probably got too much McBride across their portfolio, and so they're rebalancing, which is fair, right? But that's a really good fucking team. It's so annoying that we just never get to pick there.
I'd probably take Reed over Deontay, Jaden Reed.
Yeah, but like I think that's like
But even that's pretty close. Yeah,
right. Like, when everything else works out.
Yeah, right.
Even in Dunze, Dunze versus Deontay.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Dunze instead of DJ Moore. But I mean, these are so close.
It's so close, but like,
yeah.
The 107, I think, kind of fell apart a little bit, but they're still solid.
Yeah, we talked about.
Garrett Wilson, Drake London, De'Von Achane, Evan Ingram, Zay Flowers, James Conner, Brian Thomas, Joshua Palmer, Blake Corum, Austin Eckler, T-Law, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Henry, Xavier Legette, Alexander Madison, Justin Herbert, Cleveland, Jahan Dotson, Dicker, and DJ Chark. Right? Who should I put in my flex? Ford or Neighbors? Wait, you should put Neighbors in your flex. For sure. How is that a question? That's not a question. Like, you just put Neighbors, dude. Neighbors is like a 2-3 turn, whereas like Ford is like again 9-10. Like I think
Neighbors is going so late in
PPR
in like ESPN drafts, but PPR definitely
PPR definitely Neighbors, man. Like I just think that's just who you want, brother.
Neighbors is probably, he went in the third here in like home leagues, ESPN, Yahoo, NFL stuff where he's going 6th round, 7th round. He's probably the best pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Worthy's up there too.
Yeah. And Bowers.
Yeah. Oh, just as a caveat too, Bowers isn't only the linchpin of this whole entire roster. He's pretty much the linchpin of my whole entire portfolio this year. So,
God.
If he fails, we're going down.
We're going down where?
Not in a good way. Us? I don't know. Yeah.
Where are you taking us? Yeah. But yeah, so I think this is it, at least for us. Guys, any last words before Thursday Night Football? Can you imagine that? We're saying these words.
Yeah, it's finally coming. This was fun. This is a good team. I like this team. You say what you will about Bowers and how important, how maybe we messed up that pick. I still think this is strong, and this is why I'm just thankful for everyone who watches the show, and I'm thankful for everyone who actually is willing to push back, right? Because I think I think this dynamic only works if you guys are sharp as opposed to a bunch of lemmings and are willing to actually push back, right? Because again, like I said, there's a lot of streams where bigger streamers just stop refusing to actually listen to critical pushback that they might have
as the blood drains from their face while watching, while realizing that they should be taking Devin Singletary like as their RB1. That's not how you do zero RB.
I mean, we did still draft Marvin Mims, so well,
hey,
what can you do?
I mean, that's the easy drop, right? That's the easy drop. Yeah, but like again, like I'm just thankful for everybody, and I'm excited for having everybody like hang out and have a good time with us Sunday nights. But for this week, I really like I don't know how I'm gonna watch this game. I think realistically, I guess the only like as we start off, I'm just excited, man. We're back, and now everyone's gonna, now the cards are gonna be turned over, and let's see how everything works out, man. Like I'm excited.
It'll be a good season.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We will keep you guys updated as to how our teams are doing over the course of the season. And it's quite possible. Well, it's quite possible you see all three of us living under a bridge, probably the same bridge. Live streaming from over a burning barrel, but. We'll have some fun, guys.
Week 17 special.
Yeah. All
right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and subscribe to RotoViz if you haven't already. We got another, FFPC drafts are still going on. This tournament hasn't filled yet. Main event hasn't filled yet. We still got a lot of content going up on RotoViz. Kevin's plugging away at an article almost every day. Sean's got new stuff. I've got new stuff up. We got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. So definitely subscribe to that if you haven't already. And we will talk to you next time.